All 87. Brought to you by Giant Eagle, home of absolute minimum pricing every day. By McDonald's, it's a good time for the great taste. And by American Beer, taste the glory. By the Bell of Pennsylvania Yellow Pages. And by Pittsburgh National Bank, built on pride in performance.
From Washington, D.C., the Steelers against the Redskins. We'll join you right after our national anthem.
Flag was still there. Oh, sad was that star-spangled banner yet wave. For the land of the brave and the home of the brave.
Live from RFK Stadium in the nation's capital, it's Pittsburgh Steeler preseason football. Tonight, the Steelers open up the 1987 preseason against the Washington Redskins. Hello again, everybody. I'm Stan Savran, along with my partner Jack Campbell. Welcome you to Pittsburgh Steeler preseason football. For the third consecutive preseason opener, the Steelers will be without their #1 draft pick. 2 years ago, Darrell Sims did not play in the opener because of infected fingernails. Last year, John Reenstra was a holdout. This year, of course, Rod Woodson is a holdout. However, we have learned that progress has been made. The two parties have agreed to financial terms. But, Jack, there is still one major hang-up.
Well, it's really got to be frustrating for Dan Rooney. Usually money is the key issue in all negotiations, as it was last year with John Reenstra. What Woodson would like to have is a year off to go and try out for the Olympics, which would mean really missing this year and next year because the Olympics are in September. So really, realistically, it's 2 years out of his pro football career. I'm sure the Rooneys do not want that, nor does Chuck Noll.
Because you lose Woodson for minimum of a season and a half, regular season football, and it seems like such an outrageous demand for Woodson's people to make. Do you think it's really a negotiating play on their part?
Well, there are so many rumors going around right now, and I'm at 8 o'clock now. I really believe it is just really a negotiating ploy, and I really believe maybe Monday or Tuesday of next week, Rod Woodson will be in camp and a Steeler.
Okay, stick out that neck. Jack's on the line. You heard it here first. Despite the fact that Woodson has not been in camp, it has been a very upbeat Steeler camp. The coaches are very satisfied with what has gone on in the first 2.5 weeks of training camp, especially with the progress of the young players. There is a lot of good young talent on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The biggest surprise in camp has been free agent running back Dwight Stone of Middle Tennessee State. Nobody knew much about Stone until he showed up at a tryout camp in Kansas City and ran a 40-yard dash.
In Kansas City, I went as a tryout. I was timed at a 4.26 in the 40, and he felt it wasn't accurate, so he told me to time again. I ran a 4.25.
Stone has blazing speed, but his size could hurt him. He only weighs 185 pounds. Wide receiver has traditionally been a position where the Steelers have not needed much help, but they're liable to get some from third-round pick Charles Rocket of Long Beach State and ninth-round pick Joey Clinkscales of Tennessee. If Clinkscales looks relaxed, it's because he's used to waiting for his opportunity.
I think so. I think it helped me to learn a lot of patience. You know, when you're playing behind a lot of great receivers like they were at Tennessee, you know, you just had to wait your turn. And, you know, that's what I did, and eventually I got my shot.
One rookie with no patience is fifth-round pick Hardy Nickerson of California. Nickerson is an extremely aggressive inside linebacker who gets into fights about as often as Fritzy Zivik. And while Steeler fans wait for Rod Woodson to sign and Delton Hall to catch up, they may want to keep their eyes on this small but very well-built defensive back. Fourth-round pick Thomas Everett has drawn raves from coaches for his big playability and his nasty habit of hitting everything that moves.
Yeah, I pretty much do. I like to come up. You know, I get a lot of guys when they're really not, you know, I come down real good and low, and they don't really see me until the last second, and it's too late.
Unfortunately, Thomas Everett is hurt. He bruised his shoulder. He will not play in tonight's game, but he is really pushing for a job, and Eric Williams, who will start tonight, is in danger of losing that starting job to Thomas Everett once he comes back. We're set for the kickoff. The Steelers have won the toss. They have elected to receive. Lupe Sanchez who led the AFC in kick returning last year, will receive the kick from Steve Cochran with 2 straight-on kickers left. It's a high kick, but short. Sanchez at the 8. Hold to the left side. 20, he fumbles the football, is loose near the 20-yard line, and the Redskins have recovered. A Redskin player is down, but Sanchez hit. Fumbles, and the Redskins will take over near the Steelers' 20-yard line. Cornerback Tim Morrison caused the fumble, number 41. Not exactly, Jack, the way you'd like to start off your preseason or any game. The player down is Raven Caldwell. He's a first-year linebacker out of Arkansas.
Well, Lupe Sanchez is a guy that usually handles the football very well back there. He saw a hole on the left side. You see him has the football in his left hand, tries to cut back into the middle of the field. He just gets stripped of the football right. He gets right out of his hand by number 59, who knocked the ball loose from Sanchez right around the 25-yard line. And it's a special teams turnover right away for the Redskins.
You see Raven Caldwell lost his helmet and took a shot right on the head. He may be out cold.
I'm saying one thing, when you lose your helmet out on the field and you're still trying to come in and make a play and make a tackle, I tell you, these guys are trying to make the football team out there this evening. Before I tell you, without your equipment on, it's awfully tough.
Well, Sanchez on the opening kickoff loses the football as Raven Caldwell is attended to, and the Steelers will start out defensively with their backs up against the wall as the Redskins take over on the 25-yard line. Joe Gibbs, the Redskin coach, he has the best winning percentage of any active coach in the NFL. He's coached 100 games. That includes postseason. He's won 79, lost 29, winning percentage of .710, and that is tops in the National Football League. Here is the kickoff return again.
You see right now, Sanchez gets stripped of the football. You see Caldwell right there without a helmet trying to make the play. Just when his head hit the ground, that's when he hurt his head or his neck, and they're just being very careful with him right now down on the 25-yard line.
Stephen Nave, number 59. That number sounds familiar. He was the one who hit Sanchez, and then Morrison came in and batted the ball from behind. Caldwell still down. Well, we've got an opportunity, Jack. While the Steelers are opening up on defense much sooner than anticipated, there's something new on the Steelers defense this year that I think the fans will find very interesting in terms of the alignment.
Well, what they're going to do this year is really flip-flop Brian Hinkle and Mike Merriweather. Mike Merriweather usually plays the left linebacker and Hinkle the right. They flip-flop the two players. They put Hinkle on the tight end. He'll play the tight end most of the time. And then they have Merriweather on the open inside where he can rush the passer and make some big plays from the backside, really the blind side of the quarterback.
All right, here is the Steeler defense starting tonight's game. Across the front, Keith Willis, Gary Dunn, Edmund Nelson. Caldwell getting up now, being helped off the field. As you see now, Brian Hinkle, the left outside linebacker. Mike Merriweather, the right outside linebacker. That's a split from the past few years. David Little and Robin Crow in the middle. Wayne Woodruff in one corner, Sanchez on the other, Donnie Shell, the strong safety, and Eric Williams, who we alluded to earlier, is the free safety. Caldwell, a little bit wobbly, but he's conversing with the Redskin trainers. There's Jay Schrader, the starting quarterback for the Redskins. He's in his 4th year out of UCLA. The Redskins had a scrimmage against the Giants last week, against the Jets, and Schrader completed 4 out of 9 for a touchdown pass. The Redskins used the single back set, and Keith Griffin is the lone setback. George Rogers will not play tonight. This is Griffin. Breaks the line of scrimmage inside the 20 and down to the 15-yard line, and very close to a Redskin first down. Keith Griffin from Miami of Florida picks up nearly a first down. Eric Williams and Dwayne Woodruff on the tackle for the Steelers. For the Redskins. Griffin found the hole, cuts inside, and picks up nice yardage.
Got a good block on Brian Hinkle on a play cut him down inside the defender and going to the outside and making the play on Griffin.
Second down, less than a yard, near the Steeler 15. The H-back, Clint Didier. Griffin again, first down and then some. Near the 10-yard line for a first down for Washington. Brian Hinkle, first man in on the tackle for the Steelers. And the Redskin offense. Joe Jacoby left tackle, Raleigh McKenzie, Russ Grimm, who was moved to center to make room for McKenzie. R.C. Fieldman at right guard, Mark May at right tackle. Griffin the running back, Clark and Monk the wide out. Warren is the tight end, Didier the H-back, and the quarterback is Jay Schrader. First down goal for the Redskins, just inside the 10. Play fake to Griffin. Schrader fires and throws it away. Williams and Merriweather over there on coverage. Not a very good play fake. And Schrader just threw it away. Ball's actually just outside the 10, so they can make a first down without going in.
Well, one thing Mike Merriweather can do is he can cover people downfield, man-to-man coverage. The key receiver on the play was Didier coming out from the tight end position. Merriweather was all over Didier. That's why Schrader had to throw the football away.
And that time, despite the realignment, they had Hinkle on a blitz. Keith Willis also with a pretty good rush. Led the Steelers in sacks a year ago. Slot left. Wing left. Second and 10. Griffin. Very little yardage. Good play by Robin Cole coming from behind to make the tackle. It'll be third down and about 9.5 for the first down, 10 for the touchdown.
That is the bread and butter play of the Redskins, the pulling of Jacoby, and usually with Grimm from the outside. Now Grimm is the center, pulling him to the strong side. Robin Cole read it perfectly, came in behind the play, and brought Griffin down for about no gain.
What's the inside linebacker's key, Jack? Don't get fooled by the pull.
Well, I think sometimes with experience you got to say whether you can make it from the backside or come across the offensive line, and that time he came underneath the backside and caught it from behind.
Kelvin Bryant in the game for the Redskins. Third down and nearly 10. Schrader firing incomplete. He's looking over the middle for Don Warren. The pass incomplete. So the Steelers have held, and it'll force the Redskins to attempt a field goal, and Jess Atkinson will come on for the try.
Mike Merriweather is picking up where he left off last year. Again, this time he's covering Don Warren, and Schrader had a lot of time to try to find an open receiver. Merriweather was downfield, good man-to-man coverage, and the play went for an incomplete pass.
Mark Ripien will hold. Jess Atkinson from Maryland will attempt the field goal. It'll be about a 28-yarder, angled to the left. Kick is down, and the kick is good. So Jess Atkinson kicks a 17-yard field, making a 27-yard field goal, and the Redskins, after the Sanchez fumble, have a 3-0 lead. We've got a timeout on the field with a score. The Redskins 3, the Steelers nothing. We'll be back in a moment.
You going to work already?
It's 7 o'clock.
It's been a rough week. I'm not going to be a resident forever, you know.
You always work like one.
Hey, he likes little kids. And someday there's going to be more money.
And we won't know what to do with it.
Right. Maybe it's time we get some advice.
The willingness to work a little harder. That's pride in performance. Some people build their lives on it. We built a bank on it. Pittsburgh National.
Tuesday, the 5th. How's business, pal?
It could be better.
How's that?
This is my car.
So you want an ad.
And the genuine yellow pages.
From Bella, Pennsylvania.
Lots of ads, lots of info.
And community facts.
Maps and guides.
So it's bound to get used.
And more people should see my ad.
Knock it up, Pat.
Business is jumping.
And I got myself a new car.
Advertise in the Bella, Pennsylvania yellow pages. It's everything a directory should be.
The Redskins taking advantage of a fumble by Sanchez on the opening kickoff. Move from the 25 down to the 10. They are stalled there. A 27-yard field goal by Jess Atkinson has given the Redskins a 3-0 lead, and now Sanchez is back to try it again, and we'll see the kickoff from Steve Cox. A couple of injury notes for the Steelers. Thomas Everett, the 4th-round draft pick out of Baylor, will not play tonight. Nor will Preston Gothard. He's got a hip pointer. Danzel Lee will start at tight end. And Dirk Winston will not play tonight. He's got a bruised shoulder, something he could play with in the regular season, but they don't want to aggravate it here in the preseason, and so we expect to see a great deal of rookie Hardy Nickerson out of California throughout the game at inside linebacker. There's Lupe Sanchez trying to improve on his first effort. Cox from Arkansas, the former Cleveland Brown, kicks off. It is short again. Sanchez runs up and takes it the 8. He's got a big hole to the outside. 35 and out to the 38-yard line. So Sanchez, who led the AFC in kickoff returns last year, returns this one for 30. The Steelers will start out at their own 38-yard line. And here is the Steeler offensive unit. Mike Webster, of course, starts at center. Mark Benning, left tackle, Ringstra left guard, Long and Ilkin on the right side. The running backs, Abercrombie and Jackson. Stallworth blitz the wideout. Danzel Lee will be the tight end, and Mark Malone will start at quarterback. He's expected to play about 1 quarter. That's Stallworth in motion. Abercrombie, he's hit at the line of scrimmage. Good penetration by the Redskins. Neil Olkowitz, the middle linebacker, 9th-year man out of Maryland, and Abercrombie is stopped for no gain.
Stan, that's the old bread and butter off tackle play by Pittsburgh, trying to pull Terry Long down the line to kick out the linebacker. Linebacker Olkowitz just ran through an experienced linebacker and made the play just like Robin Cole did the last series for Pittsburgh.
Let's see if they try to run again on 2nd and 10. This time it's Jackson. Follows Long, block. Knocked out of bounds to the 45-yard line. Now there, Terry Long didn't make a devastating block, but he got in the way of the linebacker, and that enabled Jackson to get outside for a gain of 7.
Terry Long is an offensive lineman who can really run well, pulls out to the left very well, came out to the outside. When he leaves the play, all he has to do is get a piece of Rich Malott. He kind of got him hung up. Malott tried to go over top of Long. Jackson got to the outside for a good game.
Looking at the Redskin defense, they've had some difficulty in their secondaries, and they're trying to shore that up now. It is 3rd down and 3 from the Steeler 45-yard line. Watch for Abercrombie. Pass complete into Redskin territory for a 1st down. There's Rodney Carter, the first-year man out of Purdue. Monty Coleman, Vernon Dean make the tackle, but Rodney Carter, who tore up his knee last year, and a great pass receiver, gets the Steeler 1st down.
Mark Malone coming back, needing the 1st down with a 3rd and 4 or 5. Boy, he throws it into a crowd right there. They had a zone defense. Carter does a good job of just out-fighting people for the football and brought it down for the 1st down.
I thought Malott might have hit him before he caught the football. Good concentration there by Rodney Carter. 1st and 10 from the Redskin 49. Abercrombie on a sweep. 2 blockers ahead. 45, 40, and Abercrombie's run out of bounds inside the 40-yard line. Free safety Curtis Jordan knocked him out of bounds, and Abercrombie close to another Steeler 1st down.
Well, I'm not sure who called all the plays here at the beginning of the game, but they're really using Long, the right guard, pulling out again for the 3rd time in 4 plays, leading the way for Abercrombie, and he knocked down the corner so that Abercrombie could turn the corner and get some good yardage, about 9 in that play.
2nd down and 1 from the Redskin 40. Abercrombie and Jackson, the split backs. Malone, short drop, fires on the flat to Jackson. Makes a move inside the 35 and down to the 33. It's a gain of 6, but it brings up another 1st down for the Steelers. Their 2nd of the ball game. Darrell Green cut down Ernest Jackson. That's a good read that time by Malone.
When Malone came off Stallworth, because he had man-to-man coverage, Vernon Dean was all over Stallworth. A couple of years ago, Malone might have thrown that football. He came off Stallworth and got Jackson for a good 1st down.
Just outside the Redskin 32-yard line. Over the middle, incomplete, intended for the tight end, Danzel Lee, off his hands. Had a man open deeper down the middle. Pass incomplete. That'll be 2nd down and 10.
And here's the real question mark on the offensive line. Mark Benning, the left tackle, doing a good job of using his hands, maybe a little bit too much at the end there, but doing a good job of keeping a defensive lineman in front of him and kept him away from Mark Malone. key play on this whole situation, whether Mark Fennick can hold up and play that left tackle position. If not, John Rienstra may move out there later on in the preseason.
It was Marcus Koch for the Redskins. He's taking the place of the injured Dexter Manley, who is going to be out for a number of weeks. Malone fires over the middle, and it is complete near the 22-yard line. The pass caught by Abercrombie. On the eye cut, the inside cut by Abercrombie, complete for nearly 10 yards.
But right now, Malone's doing a good job of coming off his receivers and going to the backside of the backfield. Walton, man-to-man coverage. He cuts underneath him. Walton almost tries to grab him. He cuts underneath, wide open. It's an easy throw from Malone, a little bit low. Abercrombie goes down and makes the catch.
Is that unusual for a strong safety to be on a back?
Well, they had the two wide receivers on the other side of the field. The strong safety stays over there, and he has to cover the first back out on that side, which was Abercrombie.
1st and 10, Abercrombie picking his way inside the 20 down near the 19-yard line. Walter picks up 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Dave Butts made the tackle. He just came to camp earlier this week. He was a holdout and suffered a severe migraine headache last night. They took him to the hospital. They weren't sure if he was going to play. When a guy that big, 6'8" and 300 pounds, gets a migraine, boy, I bet you that really hurts.
His migraine may be soothed a little bit with a 2-year contract for $450,000 this year and $500,000 next year for a defensive lineman. And I'm sure if you Tylenol, he'll be okay.
Or rub a couple $50 bills on his forehead, make him feel better. 2nd down and 7 to the 19. Lee in short motion. Pass incomplete for Stallworth. Vernon Dean was on his back. Stallworth wants a call. He's not going to get one. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 7.
John Stallworth now in his 14th year. He's a guy that may be in the slot a lot for Pittsburgh on the 3 wide receiver situation. This time it was just pure man-to-man coverage with Vernon Dean. And John really doesn't have that blazing speed he once had. He'll probably end up being a possession-type receiver for Pittsburgh this year.
I thought Stallworth shielded the defender from his body if the ball had been thrown a little lower. Slot left, safety blitz by the Redskins. Pass caught over the middle. Down to the 5-yard line is John Stallworth. A blitz control route by Mark Malone. He read the blitz. That changes the pattern for Stallworth. It's good for a Steeler. 1st down as Barry Wilburn made the tackle.
Well, you know who Mark Malone's going to go to in that kind of situation. Stallworth knows how to run the play against a blitz situation. You see the 2 defensive backs coming right at the middle. A pretty good pickup by Pittsburgh offensive line. Stallworth breaks the route off across the middle. He's wide open, and Malone puts the ball right there.
You also saw Lips take the other defender to the corner to clear the way for Stallworth. 1st and goal for the Steelers. Jackson. He'll lose yardage back to the 8-yard line. Neil Olkowitz made the initial penetration. The inside linebacker forced the play outside. And Olkowitz causes a 3-yard loss for the Steelers. They'll mark it just inside the 8. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Well, that's when you need your halfback to make that key block on the linebacker. Abercrombie's got to make that block at the line of scrimmage, stop the penetration, and then Jackson can turn the corner. Abercrombie was not able to make that block. You see Jackson now has to belly back to the outside. Really, Abercrombie gets leveled by the linebacker, and that just breaks down the entire play to the outside.
2nd down and goal. Malone firing, end zone, incomplete. A flag is down. Interference will be called on Darrell Green as he was hanging on Lewis Lips. It'll give the Steelers another 1st and goal.
You see the official making a call right now.
Interference, number 28 defense. 1st down and a 1-yard line.
1st and goal at the 1. I thought the discussion may have been, was this a catchable ball? Which is always a highly debatable subject.
It's called a quick eye cut or a quick route into the middle, quick short post. You see Green all over Lips as he's going up for the football. Darrell Green, probably the fastest guy in pro football right now. Lips beat him on the move to the inside. He tried to adjust, had to go on top of him. That's where the pass interference call was made.
1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Abercrombie. It'll be stopped short. It'll be 2nd down and goal. Trying to follow Terry Long in there.
Here's Walter Abercrombie. These are the tough yards. He's got to get right near the goal line. Good penetration. Looked like it's close to the goal line or near it. Good penetration by the Redskins defensive line, and that's how you play short yardage or goal line defense, by getting penetration, and they stopped Abercrombie about a yard short.
Neil Olkowitz limping and perhaps coming out of the ball game. The Steelers with a double tight end alignment on first down. Olkowitz back by the standard that holds up the goal post. It was second down and goal from the 1-yard line.
And on his drive, Pittsburgh's done a good job of getting the ball to the backs. And Rodney Carter caught a couple balls, Ernest Jackson, also Walter Abercrombie. So when Stallworth was covered downfield, Louis Lips, Malone's done a good job of coming off the primary receiver and getting the ball to the backs, and they've made some big gains on this drive.
Been a very nice drive. It started at their own 38-yard line. They have run 13 plays. Malone has hit on 4 out of 5 for 38 yards, and you see Neil Olkowitz limping off his right knee or right ankle. The Steelers now, 6:48 remaining in the quarter. We've got a timeout. The Redskins lead it 3-0, and we'll be back in just a moment.
McDonald's presents the most wanted mug in America.
Who could resist a mug like this?
4 colorful glass Garfield mugs you can buy.
Believe me, I'm worth it.
For a special price with any McDonald's food purchase. There's a different mug each week featuring Garfield. Garfield?
Just getting my mug ready for my public.
This summer, McDonald's is serving up 4 Garfield mugs.
Summertime, serving up summertime.
It's the most wanted mug in America.
At McDonald's.
Giant Eagle always says the shopper pays for double coupons. Well, I'm a shopper, and I say let's go to the source. The manufacturer will pay the face value of this coupon no matter where you take it. However, with double coupons, the store will pay the rest and make up for it by keeping prices high. So that means that double coupons are really paid for by Rose Richards.
Giant Eagle. If you're not paying the absolute minimum price, you're paying too much.
6:48 to play in the first quarter. The Redskins lead 3-0, but the Steelers have it second and goal from inside the 1-yard line. And the Steelers are going with a triple tight end set. Chris Kelly, Danzel Lee, and Theo Young. Jack, I would imagine that stems from the fact they don't have a lot of healthy offensive tackles. They have to go to tight end instead.
The offensive tackle is their weak position on the offensive line, so going to the 3 tight end offense, this is right now just power football. We got probably a length of the football to get into the end zone, and just who beats who off the line of scrimmage, and we get that push or that surge will tell who's going to Pittsburgh can put the ball into the end zone against that Redskins defense.
Second down and goal. Steelers wing to the right and throw set back. Jackson, touchdown Steelers. Ernest Jackson piles in from the 1, and the Steelers complete a 62-yard drive in 14 plays and score the first touchdown of the game and the preseason.
He went right over the left tackle, went over John Reenstra and Mark Benning. Really, Jackson runs a little bit straight up in the air right here, but still, with his power, he's able to get into the end zone and get in there for the touchdown. But a good job by the offensive line, Benning and Reenstra coming off the football. You see the surge right here, a little bit of holding maybe inside there on Rich Malott, and Jackson cuts inside for the touchdown.
The block also by Mike Webster. Anderson's extra point is good. So the Steelers, completing a 62-yard drive in 14 plays, have taken the lead as Gary Anderson adds the extra point. 6:26 to play in the first quarter. We've got a timeout on the field. With the score, the Steelers 7, the Redskins 3. We'll be back in a moment.
I love the fresh, natural taste.
6:26 to play in the first quarter. The Steelers, after falling behind 3-0, lead 7-3. Leo Oklowitz has a sprained right knee. We saw him limp off. He will not return to the game. Well, that'll open things up for rookie Kurt Gobea, played at Brigham Young, trying to make this football team. He'll get a good look tonight. To the right of Gary Anderson, you see Hardy Nickerson, number 54. Hardy has got a great right hand. Whether he can play the game of football, that remains to be seen, but he's a tough customer and a very feisty customer. Back deep for the Redskins is Clarence Burton. There you see Hardy. He'd like to meet Clarence about the 20-yard line, face-to-face.
Well, Nickerson is one of the guys on the kickoff coverage who's going to go down. He's going to the football. Everybody's got a job to do on that kick coverage team. His job and two other people on that team are to go for the football and go for Burton and make him come out behind that wedge.
Burton played with Houston of the USFL, and he will take it at the goal line. Breaks a couple tackles, still on his feet, and gets out to the 25-yard line. Bruce Jones, rookie strong safety, was the first man to make the hit. Hardy Nickerson also went on it. Let's take a look at old Hardy and see what he's doing.
It seems right now trying to just fight off the block. Two people try to block him. He's trying to go to the football, gets knocked down. Chuck Noll say he took care of two blockers on the play, but he still wants him to get to the football, and he's a hustling linebacker trying to come over and help out on the tackle. 2 or 3 missed tackles by Pittsburgh's coverage team.
25-yard return for Clarence Burton. 1st and 10 Redskins, their own 25. Dave Edwards in the game for the Steelers. Play fake over the middle, wide open. It is Don Ward into Steeler territory at the 47-yard line. They get Cliff Didier with the catch. Hinkle and Dwayne Woodruff in on the tackle, but a big game for the Redskins.
Stan, this is the old stun 4-3 that Joe Green made famous back in the 70s. 4-down lineman. This time it's a play-action pass. That defense is great against the run, but not against the pass. And Didier gets behind the linebackers by a good play-action fake, held the linebackers, and Didier got behind him.
Schrader to Didier for 28 yards and a first down at the Steeler 47. Schrader falls down, and he'll be covered there by Willis. The loss is back to his own 48. It'll be a loss of 5. You know, Schrader tripped over his own feet, or a guard who was pulling on the play. But it's a loss of 5. It'll be 2nd down and about 14 to go for a first down. That's Mark Ripien, first-year quarterback out of Washington State, a draft choice from a year ago, signaling in the plays, number 11. Steelers back in a traditional 3-man line now. Steelers in a blitz. Schrader fires in the flat, caught by Didier, but Dave Edwards, now they're going to rule he did not hang on. It is incomplete at midfield. It'll be 3rd down and 14.
When I talked to Tony Dungy before the game, he was telling me they're going to play a lot of zone defense on 1st and 2nd down against Washington, make people catch the ball in front of them, and then see if the young people can make tackles in open field in a preseason game. That's his theory going into the game. He'll play man-to-man mostly in the prevent and 3rd down and long situations.
Steelers early playing an awful lot of people. Joe Williams, number 97, was in the game. He comes out of there now. Harvey Clayton in the game as the nickel back. Nickerson is one of the inside backers, although he's playing on the end of the line. Schrader chased by Tim Johnson. He fires, and it is caught at the 42-yard line. The pass complete to Ark Monk, but it'll be well short of the first down. Dwayne Woodruff there to cover on the play. A good pass rush, Jack, that time by the Steelers. Flushed Schrader out of the pocket and ruined the pattern.
Well, Schrader's trying to go deep downfield. He throws a deep ball probably as good or as well as anybody in the league. He tried to go deep. They were playing that deep zone again, making things happen in front of him. And that time Woodruff came up, reacted well to the football, and looks like Dwayne Woodruff's knee up to this point looks just fine.
Steve Cox will punt. Rick Woods at his own 10. Low snap. Cox gets away a high kick. Takes a Steeler bounce, and the Redskins will down it near the 15-yard line. There is a flag on the play. The eligible man downfield, I would imagine the Steelers would decline because from that field position, it's only a 27-yard punt or so. We'll think the Steelers would decline that penalty against the Redskins and take the football right where it is and not give him another opportunity to kick the ball inside the 10.
Ineligible number 45, illegally damaged him with the kicking team. Penalty refused. First down.
They're going to mark it on the 17-yard line. And after the timeout, the Steelers will take over from there. 4:02 to play in the first quarter. There's a timeout on the field with a score. The Steelers 7, the Redskins 3. We'll be back in a moment.
George, you still here?
Yeah, teaching a night course.
What with everything else?
Got an extra expense.
You bought a sports car, huh?
My youngest started college.
I thought you already had one in college.
I do.
Ooh.
Yeah. But with teaching at night and doing a little tutoring and getting a loan, we'll do it.
The willingness to work a little harder, that's pride in performance. Some people build their lives on it. We built a bank on it. Pittsburgh National.
Huey Lewis, Phil Collins, the Beatles, Lionel Richie. That's the kind of music I want on the radio. Some stations you get a few good tunes, but you gotta sit through a lot of hard rock, or like dentist office music in between. Not 96.1. After O'Brien and Gary in the morning, they play 9 in a row all day. So hey, I just turn it on while I'm working and let it roll.
Keep your radio on 96.1 WHTX for O'Brien and Gary in the morning and 9 in a row all day.
It is warm and humid in the nation's capital tonight, as it always seems to be. Although the real heat and humidity apparently are going to roll in tomorrow. Not a bad night to play football. The Steelers, with their second possession of the ball game, will be starting out from their 17-yard line. And some substitutions now for Pittsburgh. Frank Pollard comes into the game, very anxious to see how his knee holds up. Ouija Thompson and Calvin Sweeney will be the wide receivers.
And Stan, really the impressive part so far has been really Mark Malone. You got to remember, Mark Malone, the entire training camp, it's very difficult physically for everybody in training camp, and Mark Malone doesn't get touched out there. None of the defensive linemen can hit him during a practice session, so this is really his first experience with any kind of pass rush against him, and he's making all the right reads out there. The offensive line's done a pretty good job of pass protecting for him, and he's finding the open man.
Malone 4 out of 6, 38 yards, and made a key read on the blitz control route to Stallworth, which gave the Steelers a 1st and goal from the 5. Abercrombie. Good, tough running across the 25-yard line. Curtis Jordan, the free safety, made the tackle, but Abercrombie seemed to be stopped and made a good, tough run. They'll mark him down at the 24, a gain of 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3.
With Pittsburgh, especially in his first quarter, just trying to get the ball outside on the running play. Usually Pittsburgh is a trapping inside football team with the running game. A couple of plays so far this evening have been Abercrombie and Jackson getting to the outside, Long and Pollard that time leading him on the way.
Sweeney splits left. Frankie Pollard to the 25. About a yard gain. It'll bring up a 3rd and 2, and Dave Butts made the stop on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 2. Steelers are 2 for 2 on 3rd down conversion.
Stan, Dave Butts has been a real big mystery to me. He came from St. Louis, and I thought he would never be able to play pro football. They traded him from the Cardinals over here to Washington, and he's just been an outstanding defensive lineman for so many years for the Redskins.
Abercrombie diving to the 27. I don't know that he made the 1st down. I think he's short, and will force the Steelers to punt. On a 3rd and 2, they go with a short trap, and it appears that they are short of the 1st down. Well, on special teams where a rookie can make a name for himself, we'll see if anybody comes to the fore. Harry Newsom will punt. Eric Yarber, 2nd-year man, back deep for the Redskins. He stands at his own 32. Newsom with a 2-step gets off a good one. Yarber back at his 27. Beats the 1st wave, the 2nd wave, and gets back to the 33-yard line, a 6-yard return. A pretty good punt by Harry Newsom. 48 yards, 6-yard return, a net of 42 yards for the Steelers, and Greg Carr, who made the team initially on the special teams, made the first hit. Danzel Lee also down there for Pittsburgh. A penalty against the Steelers, and they're going to bring it back.
Number 78, illegally downfield on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Tim Johnson, the 6th-round draft choice out of Penn State, illegally downfield. And after the good punt by Cox, the Redskins will force the Steelers to kick it over.
Boy, when your punt coverage team does a good job and you get a good punt off like that and they go down and cover it so well, come back after that 5-yard penalty, have to do it all over again. I'm sure they're all in that huddle right now looking at Tim Johnson and kind of shaking their head.
Newsom will try it again. Not as good a kick this time. Yarber at the 40. 50. Still on his feet. And finally dragged down inside the Steeler 40-yard line. A 22-yard return for Eric Yarber. Rick Woods finally brought him down from behind with help from Merrill Hodge. But Yarber beat the first 2 waves of tacklers downfield and picks up a nice return.
That's where a 5-yard penalty almost turns into a touchdown for the Redskins. You see him right now cutting back against the green. He spins out right here, drops his hand down, keeps his balance, and goes for about 4 or 5 more yards. That play after that 5-yard penalty from Johnson was about a 25-yard net gain for the Redskins.
1st and 10 from the Steelers 38. Keith Griffin breaks through the wall at the line of scrimmage and gets inside the 35 to the 33 for a gain of 5. Brian Hinkle made the tackle, but Dave Edwards, who's in there at strong safety, got blocked on the play, and that enabled Griffin to cut up inside for the gain.
And sometimes when you're a strong safety, you can't come too far across the line of scrimmage. You open up an alley outside the linebacker. Griffin cut behind the block on Brian Hinkle on the inside of Edwards and made some good yardage. The play they run 2 or 3 times to that side.
2nd down, 5 from the Steelers 33. Kelvin Bryant, the lone setback. In the flat, incomplete. Fans at RFK want interference, but Lupe Sanchez in there to break up the pass intended for Gary Clark, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 5.
This is another guy that Tony Dungy said had a great camp. Watch Lupe Sanchez right here break on the football. He has a short flat area and he's driving on the football. He gets there right as the ball goes over the top of Gary Clark's head. That was like a good play, and I know I'm a little bit prejudiced, but I think Lupe Sanchez reacts on the football very well. You see him come and hit Clark right as the ball goes over his head. Good reaction by Lupe Sanchez.
Yeah, Lupe's a little guy. Got to give him a break. Schrader now 2 out of 6.
Gary Clark's not that big.
Schrader deep over the middle, wide open, and caught for a 1st down to the 15-yard line. Kelvin Bryant out of the backfield makes the reception on the circle in route, and the Redskins pick up big yardage and a 1st down. Inside the Steelers 16, Williams and Clayton made the tackle.
Calvin Bryant is their possession type receiver when he comes in the game. This just lobbed over Carr, Greg Carr's head and underneath the defensive backs in that dead area in the zone. And Bryant does a good job of making the reception and getting the 1st down.
Bryant is playing with a pulled quadricep muscle. He's only going to play on certain downs and situations. Griffin comes right back in the ball game. A counter. Griffin inside the 15 near the 12. Mike Merriweather, the first man in to make the tackle. It'll be 2nd down, 6 yards to go.
Looks like the Redskins are just going to run the clock out, but that's just power football by the Redskin offensive line, which may be one of the biggest in the National Football League. They're taking their strength against the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive line.
The Redskins say eventually they would like to have an offensive line that averages 300 pounds. That's the end of the 1st quarter. The score, the Steelers 7, the Redskins 3.
They're coming to McDonald's by skateboard, by canoe, even by teeter-totter. to get the most wanted mug in America.
Can you blame them?
It's Garfield on 4 colorful glass mugs.
Just the thing for when company drops in.
You get a different mug each week for a special price with any McDonald's food purchase.
Listen to the man. This is important.
This summer, McDonald's is serving up 4 Garfield mugs.
Summertime, serving up summertime.
And the living is easy, right, Odie?
At McDonald's.
The cage, now open at Horns.
All set to begin the second quarter. This is what it looks like from up here. We don't do it alone. We have some help. This is Ron Rickens, our spotter, and Charlie Fisher, our statistician, and John Grohol, our assistant in the booth. And Jack and I have plenty of help, probably because we need it.
We need all the help we can get up here, I'll tell you that.
All right, let's turn around and see what happens here in the second quarter. Steeler defense, and they are intermingling an awful lot of rookies. In the center of your picture, that is Steve Apke from Cincinnati, Ohio. Of course, plays collegiate football at Pitt, and he is in there at an inside linebacker. David Little pairing with him. The Redskins have the football near the Steeler 11-yard line. Here's Steve Apke in the middle.
So I talk about that power football, the pulling offensive line. Mark May trying to throw a block, and then Griffin just tries to pick the hole behind that big offensive line. A lot of times they'll even have Joe Jacoby pulling on that 305-pound offensive left tackle. So even though those guys are awfully big, they can also pull out for the running backs as well.
2nd and 6 from the Steeler 11. Didier short motion. This is Keith Griffin in trouble. He's hit from the side and dropped for no gain. Brian Hinkle. Good lateral pursuit. Knocked him down right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 6. And Dave Edwards clogged up the blocking so that Hinkle could get there.
And that's how you play good, sound team defense. The guy in the corner, the support man, turns the play in, and then that gives an opportunity for Brian Hinkle to come down the line of scrimmage and make the play on the running back, Griffin, as soon as he turns back into the hole inside.
Here's the difference in pro football today. 6 Steeler defenders come in, 6 leave. Platoon substitution. Bryant is in the backfield. Schrader. And it is incomplete, intended for Gary Clark. They ran the fade pattern and tried to beat Lupe Sanchez. Both of them about the same size. Sanchez had the coverage, the pass incomplete, and the Redskins will try for their 2nd field goal.
And Calvin Bryant is going to the sideline, shaking his head. It was a blown assignment by the Steeler defensive secondary. He was wide open. No one covered Bryant coming out of the backfield. You see him at the bottom of the screen coming out wide open on the 10-yard line. Oh. He thinks he's going to get the football, but Schrader had his mind up to go to Clark on that fade route in the corner of the end zone. Never looked at Bryant, who could have walked into the end zone for a touchdown.
Sanchez went in the end zone, and there was no one there for Bryant. Atkinson to attempt the field goal. It'll be a 28-yarder. An angle to his right. And a flag is down. They may have taken too much time. They did.
5-yard penalty.
Well, that'll push it back 5 and make it a 33-yard field goal.
One of the assistant coach in the Redskins drawing up plays on the sidelines here.
No Indian like an old Indian. All right, Atkinson's setting out. It'll be a 33-yard attempt. Atkinson's kick is up, and it is good. So Jess Atkinson, who is fighting Max Zendejas for the place kicker's job, is 2 for 2, and the Redskins have closed to within a point. 14:09 to play in the first half. There's a timeout on the field with a score of the Steelers 7, the Redskins 6. We'll be back in a moment.
We were working on some Java on a Bella, Pennsylvania Yellow Pages.
2 eggs, wreck 'em. Hi, guys.
Nice crowd, B.
The ad is paying off.
So what's his line?
No ad, no biz, no tip.
A guy like that belongs in this.
The genuine Yellow Pages.
From Bella, Pennsylvania.
The book the public buys from.
The book that builds business.
So, what do you think?
I think we leave him a big tip. Advertised in the Bella, Pennsylvania Yellow Pages. It's everything a directory should be.
It only comes from Sunoco, the highest octane under the sun. Sunoco Ultra. At 93.5 octane, Sunoco Ultra is the highest octane of all major premium gasolines. No other gasoline can match it. Sunoco 93.5 Ultra, the highest octane under the sun.
Coming up at halftime, Myron Cope will join Jack and me to talk about the first half and speculate on the 87 Steelers. Lynn Cullen goes into training. It's about time when she looks at what it's like to pump iron and to play in the National Football League. And Jack Ham remembers Joe Gillum, former Steeler quarterback of the mid-70s. Certainly had his ups and downs in his life and in his career. Jack paid him a visit, and I know you're going to enjoy remembering Joe Gillum to see what he did then and what he is doing now. And that's all coming up at halftime.
Now, one new sports news this afternoon. Brian Bosworth signed his contract with the Seattle Seahawks. He said he would only play for a certain amount of teams in the NFL. Well, he signed today an 11-year contract, a 10-year contract for $11 million and a $2.5 million signing bonus. Not bad.
Nope. I'd like to get what he has to pay in taxes. Dwight Stone, the quick rookie, number 5, returns this kick. Look out! Stone to the 35 and out the 36-yard line. Dwight Stone, the rookie free agent from Middle Tennessee State, finally dropped by Johnny Thomas. A 26-yard return put a lot of excitement in it. Dwight Stone, at a couple of tryout camps, as you saw in our open, ran a 4.2540. That puts him among the top 5 speed demons in the National Football League. Bubby Brister is in at quarterback, and this is Dwight Stone. And he's going to be sacked back at the 29-yard line in his first NFL carry by Rich Malott. The Steelers with wholesale changes now. 4.25 speed, Jack. I dare say that may be the fastest Steeler ever.
And it also, what it does for Pittsburgh's offense, it gives a guy, a running back, who can legitimately get to the corner and get to the outside on a lot of the quick tosses and the sweeps to the outside, which Pittsburgh hasn't had in its offense for a number of years.
Rookie Paul Oswald is in at center. James Hansen, number 71, is in at right tackle. This is Theo Young, number 46, in motion. Brister to throw. He's going to be sacked. Charles Mann was working one-on-one with his opposite number, James Hansen, number 71, and he beat Hansen to death, and Bubby Brister paid the price.
Dexter Manley isn't here because of an injury, but Charles Mann is a solid defensive lineman. You see him beating Hansen right there and really neckties Bubby Brister and brings him down. Charles Mann, they think he's the best defensive lineman they have because he plays the run extremely well and also can pass rush, as we just saw.
Mann in his 5th year out of Nevada Reno. The sack takes it all the way back to the 20-yard line. It is 3rd and 21. Draw play. Even that will lose yardage. Abercrombie is dropped for a 5-yard loss. So the Steelers started the series at their own 36. They end up back at their own 15-yard line. Dave Butts made the tackle, and so that makeshift and inexperienced Steeler offensive line really gets batted around.
And that's exactly the situation. The Redskins had their starting defensive line in the football game, and they really took control of the offensive line from Pittsburgh and put all kind of pressure on Bubby Brister and all the running plays.
Newsom's kick. Ricky Sanders on the receiving end at the 40. Missed tackles, and he gets out to the 45-yard line. For special teams of primary interest to Steeler fans, Jack, I think so far the coverage has been good, but the tackling hasn't been exceptional.
A lot of times when you come down, you got to get under control and not be out of control, come down, break down, and make the tackle. They've missed about 2 or 3.
12-10 to play in the first half. We've got a timeout. The Steelers lead the Redskins 7-6. We'll be right back.
McDonald's presents the most wanted mug in America.
Who could resist a mug like this?
4 colorful glass Garfield mugs you can buy.
Believe me, I'm worth it.
For a special price with any McDonald's food purchase. There's a different mug each week featuring Garfield. Garfield?
Just getting my mug ready for my public.
This summer, McDonald's is serving up 4 Garfield mugs.
Summertime, serving up summertime.
It's the most wanted mug in America.
At McDonald's.
Virtually a brand new defense in for the Steelers. Darrell Sims in on the nose. Greg Carr in at outside linebacker. Rick Woods in at free safety. Robin Cole remains in the game. Keith Gary at a defensive end. Gerald Williams at a defensive end. Kelvin Middleton at strong safety. He's number 37. Was with the Steelers last year in camp. Got cut, was invited back. For the Steelers, substituting very freely, Chris Sheffield, the second-year man, made the team as a free agent last year. He will be in at left corner. So they're getting a good look at a lot of these players. There's Dave Butts. He of a migraine headache. I have a feeling he gives out more than he receives in terms of migraine headaches.
Stan, right now, Pittsburgh's got the 3-4 defense, and the key player on this is Darrell Sims on the nose. If he can control the center, usually is the key to making that 3-4 defense work. If he can't, the Redskins will be able to run the football inside.
Well, it's no secret that Darrell Sims' job is on the line. They hope to move inside the nose tackle. Will best utilize whatever abilities he may have. Schrader, play fake, going deep, man deep downfield, and it is caught for a touchdown. Art Monk. 54 yards and a touchdown.
And I talked about Jay Schrader. He can throw the long ball better than anybody. It's a play-action fake. Play-action fake to grip from the inside. Holds the linebackers, but it's a zone defense downfield. Monk just outruns Sheffield on the play, and Schrader just lays the ball in there perfectly. That's a tough throw, and Schrader can do it time and time again.
Well, Jack, since it's a zone, should he have had help from one of the safeties?
He's got deep 1/3. When he breaks to the post right now, he should have some help, but really he should make this play. He should no one should get deeper than Sheffield on the play. He's got deep 1/3 of the field, and he lets Monk outrun him.
Atkinson's extra point is good. So one play, 54 yards, and a Redskin touchdown. You saw Rick Woods trailing the play. Sheffield was beaten and did not have the support perhaps he expected. 12:02 to play in the first half, and the Redskins are back on top, 13-7. We'll be back in a moment.
Today, a major shipment of sunchokes will arrive at Giant Eagle, a very important event. But very few supermarkets ever receive this rare vegetable because they only have a few customers who request it. But absolute minimum prices have brought so many customers to Giant Eagle, we are able to bring our customers events such as this, the biggest sunchoke delivery in town. Giant Eagle, nothing else comes close.
Tom, Amy called.
Yeah?
They're going to buy a house.
Oh.
I think they need a little help with their down payment.
Guess I'll be going to the bank tomorrow.
Isn't that what parents are for?
But now maybe she'll understand why we've always tried to save so much.
The willingness to work a little harder. That's pride in performance.
That's right.
Some people build their lives on it. We built a bank on it. Pittsburgh National.
The way things are going, halftime may be here in an, hour and a half or 2 hours. But when we do get there, once again, we are going to feature Jack Ham Remembers as Jack looks back at some of his teammates in the 1970s. There he is, Jefferson Street Joe. I know it's gratifying to you, Jack, to know that Joe has really straightened out his life. He's drug-free and has been for quite some time.
When he was a player who had a rocket-type arm and 175 or 80 pounds, he would stay in that pocket, defensive linemen all around him, and he'd really keep his poise. Could have been a great quarterback in the National Football League.
All right, the Redskins will kick off after the Schrader 54-yard bomb to Art Monk. And Dwight Stone, once again, is back deep. Schrader, by the way, 4 out of 9, 110 yards, nearly half on the one play to Monk. Keep in mind now, Stone has tremendous speed. Stone at the 6. spins his way out near the 25-yard line. The Redskins, 54 yards, one play, boom, Art Monk touchdown. Well, the Steelers will start out inside their own 25-yard line. Hansen at right tackle, Rasmussen at right guard, Wolfley remains in at left guard. Ouija Thompson split near side. Merrill Hodge, the rookie, is in the ballgame, number 39. Brister looking deep in the sideline, man wide open, and it is caught. Charles Lockett, touchdown. Charles Lockett, the rookie. 76 yards and a touchdown. The third-round draft choice from Long Beach State. How about that for making an impression?
Stan, this may be the easiest touchdown pass Charles Lockett ever caught in his life. He thinks this NFL is really pretty easy. It's a play-action pass. There's a breakdown in the secondary. You see Lockett just standing downfield wide open. A pump fake, two pump fakes by Bubby Brister. He's wide open by about 7 or 8 yards down the sideline. And you see right now him going down. And here it is again, just the outside route up the field. Really, Vernon Dean has a short zone. He feels he's got deep help over the top. It's not there for him. And Charles Lockett, first reception for a touchdown.
Not a bad way to go. Bubby Brister with a long touchdown bomb. Gary Anderson is converted on the extra point. And just like that, the Steelers are back on top. 14-13.
Just another case of Vernon Dean. He settled down. He feels he has a short, flat area. They're playing a zone. He feels he has deep help over the top. You see him right now on the outside. Lockett going to go down and go to the outside. Vernon Dean just settles down. He has a flat area. A little hesitation by Lockett, but there's no deep help at all by the Redskins secondary, and Lockett makes an easy catch and takes it all the way in for the touchdown.
Well, we've had 2 touchdowns in 29 seconds at this rate. The scoreboard operator is going to need oxygen. Alvin Walton trying to close.
There's only one guy in that football field who could have caught Lockett at that point, that big an area. It would have been Darrell Green, and even that would have been close. But the Lockett was just wide open, and just really a breakdown. And I'm sure there'll be a lot more tougher catches Lockett makes this evening.
Was that his route, Jack, a hook and go, or did he make that go move after he saw there was no one behind him?
Well, he's usually to come down. He'll make the hook and go with the route call, and if you try to hit the guy, you hit him right in the seam area in front of the safety, but there was no safety at all, and Brister put it right to Lockett.
Clarence Verdon on the return, looking outside, makes a couple of good moves. Saved himself some yardage, although he wasn't quite able to get outside. Delton Hall made the tackle on the kickoff return. But the man with the best shot at him was Bruce Jones, and when Verdon reversed his field, able to pick up some extra yardage. So we've had the last 2 plays from scrimmage have gone for touchdowns. The Redskins will start out at their own 20-yard line. There's Clarence Verdon. His nickname, Clarence Verdon, is CNN because he talks 24 hours a day. First and 10 Redskins from their own 20-yard line. Let's see if Schrader wants to play Can You Top This? Griffin is the lone setback as Monk comes in motion. Screen. Griffin breaks one tackle, another one, and he's finally brought down near the 25-yard line for a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
And that's really just from what the Redskins have seen from the Pittsburgh defense. A lot of zone on first down. So what they'll try to do is run a lot of screens. A first down screen when people are dropping off deep downfield, dump the football off to Griffin with blockers in front of him. Usually would make some good yardage. The Pittsburgh defense pursued well to the football and held that for about 4 or 5 yard gain.
Greg Carr and Darrell Sims made the tackle. 2nd down and 5. Robin Cole playing in the middle. Delay and near the first down. Griffin across the 30. He should have that first down. Hardy Nickerson made the tackle for the Steelers.
Talk about running inside. Delayed draw. You see right now Darrell Sims could really get double teamed. Also Robin Cole getting screened on the play. Could not get inside and help out on the tackle on Griffin. and he makes about 4 or 5 yard gain, almost has the first down for the Redskins.
What you saw happen to Darrell Sims is pretty much the life of a nose guard, Jack. He's double teamed in almost every play.
The only thing, he's going to get double teamed, and he knows that. The thing he's got to do is stay down low. You see him stand right up in the air right here. You can't stand up. You got to stay low, and you got to get into the offensive lineman. He stands up, and then he's screened out on the play. And then also Robin Cole gets screened as well, and that's why Griffin could get the yardage.
Russ Grimm and Riley McKenzie doing the blocking, the center and left guard.
The difference would be when Gary Dunn is in the game, he comes off the ball so low, he gets penetration, he does not stand up in the air, and he controls the offensive lineman right at the point of attack.
Chris Dressel, number 83, comes in as the H-back. The Redskins acquired him from the Oilers in an off-season trade. Third down and about a foot. Rick Bodonik, the fullback from Maryland, gets the first down for the Redskins. Bodonik is short but very powerful, played for the Redskins last year. He was born in Pennsylvania, went to Maryland in his second year with the Redskins. Strong safety Kelvin Middleton and corner Chris Sheffield made the tackle. But it's a gain of 2 and a first down for Washington. Chuck Noll entering his 19th year. He is tied on the all-time victory list with Paul Brown. So his first victory in the regular season will move into the sole possession of 5th place. Griffin. A little bit of a hole out near the 34. Gain of a yard, yard and a half. Keith Gary in on the tackle. Middleton was the first man up on run support. One of the things people have said, Jack, about the Steelers in training camp is that the run support from the secondary has been much better.
Well, one of the reasons is they're flip-flopping their cornerbacks. Their cornerbacks are going to the 2 wide receiver side, and they're leaving the strong safety on the side of the tight end. Usually last year, they would leave a cornerback out there who's not used to supporting. Now they're keeping the strong safety there. He's better at run support. We saw Middleton come up and turn the play in on that play.
Keith Gary has a job on the line, what with Tim Johnson and Gerald Williams playing well in camp. Schrader in the flat, caught by Didier across the 40 and out near the 42-yard line, short of the first down. It'll be third down and short. Greg Carr, Chris Sheffield on the tackle.
The one thing that Redskin offensive line does is pass protects for Schrader. They throw a lot of long balls. This time with a short possession type pass, but they protect so well for Schrader that he can throw the long pass like he did in the last series to Art Monk for the touchdown.
Schrader now 6 out of 11. Bodonik comes in as the fullback on short yardage. Third down and 2. This is Bodonik. He's hit at the line of scrimmage, and he's short of that first down. Good surge by the Steelers. Keith Gary made the first hit. Lupe Sanchez up there, as was Hardy Nickerson. That's going to bring up fourth down and about a yard, perhaps a bit less for the Redskins.
Well, Stan, those are the little things that a team can do. It makes the Redskins punt the football away. Good short yardage defense on Bodonik, who's a hard runner inside. Good penetration by Joe Williams as well. Nickerson, and also the supports a good rundown defense on the outside by Pittsburgh. And it looks like the Redskins are a little bit short here the first down.
As is their right, the Redskins asked for the measurement. About 6 inches. They're at their own 42-yard line. The Redskin fans naturally want them to go for it, but Schrader's coming off the field, so they'll at least line up in punt formation. Rick Woods will be back deep for the Steelers. 7:36 to play in the half. The Steelers lead it 14-13. Steeler touchdown, a 1-yard run by Ernest Jackson, and then a 76-yard pass from Bubby Brister to Charles Lockett. Cox's kick is a beauty. Woods will have to let it go at the 5 and into the end zone. 58-yard punt by Steve Cox, but the touchback will bring the ball back to the 20-yard line, where the Steelers will take over 1st and 10. Well, that time, the Steelers, Jack, survived the offensive line they have in there, as Brister got good time to throw the bomb to Lockett.
I'm sure the Redskin coaches, the secondary coaches, Richie Pettibone, went over the mistake they made in the secondary. The Redskins are usually a team that loves to play man-to-man in the secondary. They played zone on that, played a lot that got burned for the touchdown. It was a mental error. I'm sure they corrected on this series.
1st and 10 Steelers. This is Dwight Stone. He's hit in the backfield. He'll be stopped for a loss. Well, you can't use your speed when there's 3 250-pound guys on you. Steve Hamilton, the right defensive end, made the first hit. He had help from Rich Malott. There you see Dwight Stone. He's got good size for a guy who runs that well, 6 feet, 180 pounds.
Dwight Stone right now is wishing he was in the game with the starting offensive line. Great penetration by the whole defensive line and linebackers of the Redskins, and really Stone had nowhere to go. That 4.2 speed will not do anything for you if you don't get any kind of blocking from your offensive line.
2nd and 11. Rasmussen missed his block. Brister firing is caught by Theo Young, the tight end, still on his feet. He's out near the 30-yard line. Little drag pattern across the middle. And Theo Young, the 12th round draft pick from Arkansas, picks up yardage very near the first down. He'll be about a half yard shy. Free safety Curtis Jordan made the tackle.
Fans back at Pittsburgh are not going to believe this, but there are a lot more plays in the offense designed for the tight end. This was a crossing route by Theo Young coming across the middle. Chris did a good job of getting the football to him, and then Young fought for about 2 or 3 extra yards on the play.
Well, Bubby Brister is off to a pretty good start. He's been sacked once, but he's 2 out of 2, and of course he has that touchdown pass. 3rd down and a yard. Merrill Hodge almost fumbles, but he hangs on and gets the first down across the 30 to the 32-yard line. Merrill Hodge, he was the Steelers' 10th round draft choice out of Idaho State, 6'2" and 220 pounds. Good size, and he gets a first down.
It's just a tough short yardage. See good blocks at the point of attack right now. You just turn. He keeps his feet and just drives for the extra half yard or yard to get the first down. Right now, Pittsburgh, compared to last year, have a lot of good, solid running backs to go along with Abercrombie and Jackson and a healthy Frankie Pollard, so they should be strong at the running back position this year.
Not a bad block by Dwight Stone there on Hamilton. This is Hodge again, gets a big hole. Hodge to the 42-yard line, and he's very close to another Steeler first down. Well, here's an unexpected surprise. Merrill Hodge, the 10th round pick. Jordan and Walton, the safeties, have to make the tackle. It is a first down.
A good down block by number 84 on the play, Danzel Lee. And it's just a huge hole Hodge goes through for another first down. But they say that Danzel Lee not only can catch the football well, he can block as well as he showed on that play.
He was a draft choice of the Redskins in '85, put on injured reserve, but he was cut last preseason. He played against the Steelers last preseason. Brister will run, and he's got room to do so. Into Redskin territory, and he goes down at the 45, 44-yard line. So Bubby Brister saw the opening, and he took off, and he picks up a Steeler first down.
Well, looks like Bubby Brister's got a lot of poise out there as well. If he doesn't see anybody open downfield, he's got that kind of quickness, and he can elude the rush. You see right now him dropping back. It's pretty good protection in the pocket, steps up, and he sees the alley right up in the middle, and they're playing man coverage downfield. So a lot of defensive backs have their heads turned, and he just gets the first down inside Redskin territory.
Hodge, not much doing this time, no gain. Good penetration by Steve Hamilton. He also had help in there from Rich Malott. No gain for Hodge. It is second down and 10. Bubby came to camp this year with a different attitude. He recognized that you cannot do your homework or watch films at night spots. And so he's staying home every now and again. Come back to camp with a much better grasp of the offense. Last year when he played, he had the plays taped to his wrist. Second down and 10. Brister throwing, and it is almost intercepted. He was looking for Ouija Thompson. A good defensive play by Darrell Green, who got inside Thompson. Brister had a throw off one leg. It is incomplete. It'll be third down and 10.
Right now, Darrell Green is complaining to the official was pass interference by Ouija Thompson. He gets great position on Thompson. He tries to go to the outside. He's right in his hip pocket. You see him running right with Ouija on the play. He's got great speed. He just turns back to the inside. He sees the football. You see Ouija come over the top and really break the play up, or would have been an interception. I think Darrell Green has a legitimate gripe.
Yes, he did. And Green's given up about a foot to Ouija Thompson. Third and 10. Brisker inside the 40 to 38. That'll be 3 yards shy of the first down. Darrell Grant chased him down from behind, and coming up was Curtis Jordan. It'll be 4th down and 3 for the Steelers. And Harry Newsome comes on the field. The Steelers are going to punt. Curtis Jordan, 11th year out of Texas Tech. There you see Harry Newsome trying to angle this one out. 42-yard average this evening. He was robbed out of a great punt by a penalty. Ricky Sanders back deep. Newsome kicking for the near sideline. And he gets it, but not as far down as he wanted. They finally mark it right around the 20, perhaps the 19-yard line. So not the kind of distance that Harry Newsome wanted. All things considered, the Redskins get the ball in fairly decent shape. 2:31 to play in the first half. The Steelers holding on to that 14-13 lead. We were talking about Brian Bosworth signing for $11 million. 10-year. He got a signing bonus of $2.5 million. What it is, Jack, he gets $500,000 right now. He gets $500,000 in 1997, $500,000 in 1998, $500,000 in 1999, and $500,000 in the year 2000. That makes up the signing bonus of $2.5 million. He starts out at a salary of $300,000 a year. It increases $100,000 every year. Schrader rushed by Gary. He fires it off, and the pass is going to be ruled complete across the 20 to the 22-yard line.
It's surprising how very quickly Seattle became his favorite city.
Yeah. Didn't want to play for Seattle, but they jingled their pockets up there in the Kingdome, and Brian Bosworth came running. Someone told me that if he plays X amount of years at a $100,000 increase per year, in 9 years he'll be making $1.1 million per year for a linebacker. We have reached the 2-minute warning, so we have a timeout on the field with a score: the Steelers 14, the Redskins 13. We'll be back in a moment.
This is the anatomy of a whole new animal. It has fuel injection and the most powerful standard engine in half-ton pickups, new rear-wheel anti-lock braking system, and galvanized steel rust protection front, sides, and rear. The 88 full-size Chevy pickup. It's a
The heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevy truck.
SeaWorld, an overview. SeaWorld, an underview. A summer isn't summer without SeaWorld.
We're at the 2-minute warning, so coming up at halftime, we want to remind you that Myron Cope will be here to share his thoughts on the first half. Also, Lynn Cullen goes to the weight room to pump some iron with some of the Steelers, and you'll find out what some of the Steelers' favorite off-season and off-time activities are. And Jack Ham remembers Joe Gillum. Joe Willie Gilly, Jefferson Street Joe. That's all coming up at halftime. Redskins with the football at their own 22-yard line. 2nd down and 7. 2 minutes exactly to play. Both the Steelers and the Redskins have all their timeouts remaining.
It looks like Joe Gibbs' his style right now is to have Jay Schrader take the team the entire first half. Mark Malone looks sharp. Jay Schrader throwing the long bomb. Looks like he's in midseason form as well. We'll see what he can do in the last 2 minutes to try to move that club downfield.
Passing down, Williams, Gary, and Sims across the front on 2nd and 7. Schrader firing complete to one of his tight ends. The pass complete to Didier, and David Little covers him on the play, not so much tackled him. The gain is to the 28, where it'll be 3rd down and a yard. That's Terry Orr, a reserve tight end, played his football as a running back at Texas. Big man, 6'3", 240, so they moved him to tight end. The Redskins, as you know, use a double tight end set always. One is officially called the H-back. Badonic and Reggie Branch, the running backs. This is Badonic again. He's got the first down across the 30, out to the 31-yard line. He is a tough inside runner. I remember him at the University of Maryland. That's primarily what he did. When they got near the goal line, he got the ball.
The Redskins have so many situation players. They bring in Badonic on short yardage and maybe on the goal line. Kelvin Bryant comes out of the backfield on 3rd down and 4 or 5. He does possession-type first downs for the Redskins. They got so many people to interchange. That's why Pittsburgh has to put 5 or 6 different people on defense on each different play.
The Redskins wasted 20 seconds there by huddling up. Schrader firing, and it is intended for Clark, and it's almost intercepted. Robin Cole almost got the interception off Clark's hands. A Steeler who is down at the moment. Rick Woods had his hands on it, batted it up in the air. He made the hit on Clark, and Robin Cole almost had the interception.
We watch Gary Clark run his in pattern. He knows he can get hit. Here comes Rick Woods, puts his helmet right on the numbers of Gary Clark. Clark bounces up, and Woods gets a little bit groggy, and he's going off the field right now. A good hit by Rick Woods on a tough route coming across the middle by Gary Clark, and Clark is not a very big man.
Eric Williams will come in to replace Woods. Robin Cole is wearing his traditional number 56 tonight. But during training camp, Cole decided that he wanted to wear number 90, which is the uniform that he wore while he was in college at New Mexico. Well, when he went home to tell his son that from now on he was going to wear number 90, his little boy burst into tears and said, "Daddy, I won't know who you are. You got to wear 56. So Cole came back to training camp and said, "It's off. My son doesn't like the idea. I want to stay with 56. So he is, and thus Steve Apke is wearing number 90.
And I have to change my flip card about 3 or 4 times with his number.
Robin Cole owes us a new marking pen. 2nd down and 10, 38 seconds to play in the half. Keith Gary's being held, nothing called. Pass out in the flat to Bryant. Makes a move, but he does not fool the corner on the play. Chris Sheffield, nice open field tackle. Stopped Bryant for just a couple-yard gain. The clock continues to run. The Redskins not using their timeouts, and they have all 3.
Sheffield did a good job in open field of bringing down Bryant, not letting him get to the outside and get out of bounds and stop the clock. That's the kind of open field tackle Tony Dungy was looking for in this game this evening.
18 seconds to play in the half, and the Redskins have not used their timeouts wisely. The Steelers have often been accused of not running the 2-minute drill very well, but the Redskins haven't run it real well here either.
They got caught in a couple of situations. They got caught in a 3rd and short situation. They did not want to use a timeout when Badonic got the first down for them. They wasted time there. The sideline, the coaches on the sideline were motioning to them to call timeout, and Jay Schrader for some reason did not. And you're right, they're down to 18 seconds right now, where it looked like they could put together a good 2-minute drive.
Let me ask you this, though, Jack. Is it possible that the 2-minute drill has not yet been installed this early in training camp?
Well, most teams know they have their 2-minute. They have their prevent on defense, and most offenses have their 2-minute drill in there. And really, that's a lot of the first unit people on the field right now for the Redskins, so they know that drill as well as anybody. So I'm not sure why they did not do a good job here in the last 2 minutes of this half.
It is 3rd down and 4, a possession down, but the Redskins only have 18 seconds left. One long completion would put them in field goal range. Schrader fires sideline, man wide open. Clark, it is caught for a first down, still on his feet. The Steelers keep him in bounds, the 38-yard line. 10 seconds left. The Redskins use their 2nd timeout. Albert Williams, rookie free agent linebacker out of Texas El Paso, number 94, finally made the tackle. He did keep him in bounds, but now the Redskins have an opportunity to complete one pass, use their last timeout, and kick a field goal.
And really, Albert Williams on the play has to get a little bit deeper and make sure they can get that. He cannot get the ball over his head. You see the screen right now. Clark coming down now, breaking to the outside. Albert Williams, you see him come up now, does not get deep enough, almost gets his hand on the football. He's got to get as deep as Clark on the play because the defensive back is going deep to prevent the touchdown long throw, and Williams has to get underneath that play and make the play on Clark. You see him getting right in that dead area in front of the defensive back and over to the head of Williams, and Schrader does a good job of putting the ball in there. The only bad thing for Washington on the play is Clark did not get out of bounds.
Chris Sheffield was upfield and missed the tackle. Williams came over to clean it up. Gary Clark is in his 3rd year out of James Madison. little trivia question for you, Jack. Who's James Madison's most famous athletic graduate?
You're really setting me up on this. I have no idea.
Well, all right, I misphrased the question, actually. But James Madison is located in Harrisonburg, Virginia, and that's Ralph Sampson's hometown. Well, I didn't phrase the question properly. You're off the hook. Really, Schrader has the entire field to work with here because they're only looking for the field goal, so he has the timeout left, so that's really not a factor. Short pass to Bryant, does not get out of bounds. And the Redskins will be forced to use their last timeout with 3 seconds, and for all intents and purposes, they are out of field goal range. They can try one, but it'll be a 56-yarder. I thought certainly he would go deeper downfield than that with the whole field to work with.
And plus the fact that he does not get out of bounds. Cox has a strong leg, and he's a conventional kicker, and they usually use him on the long field goal, even when Mosley was here. So this is not out of his range. He may be able to make this, but really the whole 2-minute drive by the Washington Redskins looks like a preseason drive.
Cox once kicked a 57-yard field goal. That was for Cleveland against the Denver Broncos. He's got that kind of leg. Ripien will hold. It will be a 56-yard attempt. Again, the normal field goal kickers are either Atkinson or Zendejas, but on the real long ones, Cox comes in. He'll try a 56-yarder, which would give the Redskins the halftime lead. Cox gets it up, and it is good. He made it. Steve Cox, a 56-yard field goal. And on the final play of the first half, Cox's field goal has given the Redskins the lead. That's the end of the first half of play. The score, Washington 16, the Steelers 14.
Steelers 87 is brought to you in part by Butler and Beaver County Chrysler Plymouth dealers.
There's a clearance at your Chrysler Plymouth store, and it's sending all our new cars out the door. Everything goes. Everything goes.
Hurry in now, because we're dealing on everything in stock. Get financing as low as 1.9% or up to $750 cash back. Plus, get the 770 protection plan.
Everything goes. Everything goes.
See Casing Chrysler Plymouth in Harmony and Valley Motors in New Kensington.
Wine is fine when Calvin's cooler. They're together, Calvin and you.
You haven't tasted the best till you've tasted Calvin.
Come see your team battle the WTAE TV No Star.
Now, Billy, we raise money for worthy causes.
Sally, we want to win.
But we have fun. That's why they call them fundraisers.
Steve Cox electrifying the crowd here at RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. with a 56-yard field goal on the last play of the first half, and that has given the Redskins a 16-14 lead here at half. Coming up, we'll have a conversation with Myron Cope. Lynn Cullen will look inside the Steeler weight room, and Jack Ham remembers Joe Gillum. The Steelers and the Redskins will continue on the Steelers 87 network.
From Channel 4 WTAE TV, this is an Action News Brief.
Good evening, I'm Adam Lynch. Coming up on Action News after the game, we will switch back to Stan and Jack at the end of the game for a wrap-up of what we hope will be the first victory of the year for the Steelers. We will also take a look at efforts to help farmers in Pennsylvania who are just now beginning to bring in their crops, and unfortunately, they are bringing in the devastating effects of the long, hot, and dry summer. We'll have the latest on the pilots out in California who were involved in a close encounter of the presidential kind in that near-miss incident. The pilots of the small plane who flew too close to President Reagan's helicopter have now been released from custody without having any charges filed against them. We will have an update out of Philadelphia, where Edgar Rosenberg died earlier today. Rosenberg, probably better known as Edgar the husband and target of comedian Joe Rivers. Police say now that it appears he took his own life today in Philadelphia. And we'll have the story of the graduate of Punxsutawney High, class of 1952, who decided to take his fellow classmates on a little cruise. A big cruise, really, to the Bahamas. All expenses paid. Not bad. And, of course, we'll have Joe DiNardo's weekend weather outlook.
Well, I'll tell you, Adam, you know, while certain parts of the country are going to be getting deluged with heavy rains, like through Chicago, Michigan, Illinois, Minnesota, on down in through Wisconsin, and then you look down south and through Florida and Georgia, heavy rains. Meanwhile, here in Pittsburgh, we have just great weather to look forward to. High pressures off the East Coast. Very little shot of any precipitation at all. It will be hot into the 90s. The Carolinas will have thunderstorms, and we're going to enjoy it here in Pittsburgh.
Even with humidity.
That's right.
Okay, thank you, Joe. News, weather, and sports all coming up on Action News after the game.
Welcome back to RFK Stadium. We are at halftime. The Steelers trailing the Washington Redskins 16-14 in the 1987 preseason opener. Every year in the National Football League, the players get faster, they get bigger, they get stronger. It's not just due to a genetic accident and better food. They work at it during the season and certainly in the off-season. Lynn Cullen went inside the Steeler locker room to find out how those guys get so big and strong.
You know, some people say if you lift weights, you also lift your spirits. And if you compress your pecs, you'll also impress your friends. But for the players of the Pittsburgh Steelers, the only real reason to pump iron is to better their performance on the gridiron. They say it takes hard work to build hard bodies. They say no pain, no gain. But although these Steelers look like they're straining while they're training, you can't necessarily believe your eyes because, you see, the fact is these are men with the stomach for this sort of thing. For them, it is really no sweat.
False. I heard every day I come in here. Sometimes I wonder if it's I'm doing the right thing.
Well, okay, but if that's the case, then why do you do it?
It pays well.
No kidding. But don't you think these guys could maybe think of a less painful profession that pays well?
That's a good question.
There are ups and downs in every line of work, but not exactly like these ups and downs. I mean, these seem endless.
If you didn't love it, you definitely wouldn't be able to get into it. I'm sure even after football, I can't play football for the rest of my life, but I can surely weightlift.
Weightlifting, you see, makes the Steelers stronger.
Everything I know about weightlifting, I owe to this man right here.
This man is the strong and conditioned strength and conditioning coach, Walt Evans, a man who obviously leads by example. Professional football, he'll tell you, is not child's play, nor is professional football training. And if you don't believe Walt, just ask veteran center Mike Webster. Not Colin Webster, or certainly not Garrett Webster, heaven forbid, because they just might tell you it is child's play. I suppose, though, what it all stacks up to, this draining sort of training, is simply survival.
Pro football, very physical, abusive game. And if you're not physically prepared, you won't last very long in the NFL.
I've been known to kid Lynn Cullen every now and then, but now that I know she's working out on weights, I'm going to leave her alone. I majored in cowardice in college. I don't want any part of that. Myron Cope has joined us from the Steeler Radio Network. Myron, your general impressions of the first half.
I think the Steelers have justified the cautious optimism that they came out of training camp with. Well, they haven't finished training camp, but which built in training camp. The defense twice held the Skins to field goals, and Lupe Sanchez, got to say word for Lupe. He's been good in pass coverage. He made up for the fumble on the opening kickoff by bringing the next one out good and setting up a touchdown drive. You got to love that, Lupe, the more you see of him, do you not?
Oh, absolutely. He's played, well in the corner, and as long as Woodson's out, he, of course, is the incumbent over there.
Well, I got to agree with Myron in the play. I thought Lupe Sanchez was the best player on defense, supporting the run, made some big plays. He's got that. People think he's not as quick as he really is. He ran a 4.5 40-yard dash. He's got a great movement back there, and he can cover people and break on the football. And when that ball's near him, he'll intercept the ball. He can catch the football.
We talked about Sanchez's performance on the kickoff, the fumble, then he returned the next one 30 yards. The Steelers' special teams have been a big topic of conversation. 2 new special teams coaches. I felt, Myron, their coverage has been better. The tackling hasn't been real good, but the coverage has been there, it seems.
But you're right. I was disappointed because the tackling was not that good. And let's face it, on punts, Harry wasn't really drilling the ball 20 miles, so they could get down there under those kicks. So you might have wanted to see them do a little better job at tackling. I wasn't crazy about the special teams, but it's only one half.
Any one of the rookies stand out in his performance in the first half to you?
How would you like to catch your first pro catch of your career, 76 yards for a touchdown, leaving Vernon Dean in the 3rd row? Look, is that impressive enough? He caught my eye. He caught my eye, Stan.
It's all downhill from there for Charles Lockett. Jack, you talked about the defense and flip-flopping the linebackers of Hinkle and Merriweather. They haven't played a great deal, but I'm wondering if you've seen, has that had any effect at all in the game?
Well, I think Brian Hinkle isn't really comfortable there right now. He got blocked at the outside a couple of times. He's just playing a tight end. But we move from one side to the other. It's a whole new different kind of technique. The real reason he did it is to get Merriweather free on that other side and make some big plays for them. I think by the time the season starts, Hinkle will have it down. Those running plays off tackle to his side will probably go for no gain.
Anybody else or anything else stand out?
Well, I'd just like to add to this that Hinkle is the better man against the run, and most teams being right-handed, they're going to run over to that side. Plus, Hinkle is naturally left-handed and can deal with that tight end trying to block him a little better, being over on the left side. Right, Jack? You're the expert on linebacking.
There's no question about it. Hinkle is left-handed, so he can control it better, and Merriweather is right-handed. But again, they'll have Merriweather being on that other side, and the quarterback won't see him a lot of times. And where quarterbacks on the last year would see Merriweather coming right at him and throw the football away, I think Merriweather will cause a lot of fumbles and make a lot of big plays.
All right, Myron, thank you very much. We'll see you next week in Chicago at Soldier Field.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, well, coming right up, we go back to our Jack Ham Remembers feature. Coming up at halftime, do you remember this guy? This is the Steelers 87 Network.
The Cage, now open at Horns.
This is Brian Hinkle of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Frito-Lay, the maker of Lay's and Ruffle Brand potato chips, is again sponsoring the Challenge for Children program. For every point the Steelers score this year, Frito-Lay will contribute $100 to the Steeler Fund to help the children of Pittsburgh. So you know my teammates and I will be doing our best, but we need your help. So come on, cheer us on, because the better we play, the more we can help Pittsburgh's kids.
The 18th Duke proved that you can indeed take it with you, leaving the 19th Duke no option but to open the summer residence.
To the public, good morning. Nevertheless, we serve only Schweppes ginger ale here. Real Jamaican ginger, Schweppervescence, as refreshing as a dip in the royal pool.
Schweppes is available at the new Giant Eagle at absolute minimum prices every day.
Remember this guy? Jefferson Street Joe Gillen played quarterback for the Steelers from 1972 to 1975. And no one who ever saw Joe Gillen play will ever forget his fearless demeanor or his buggy whip right arm. What people may forget about Joe Gillen was that he was good enough to beat out Terry Bradshaw.
I had the attitude that you got to put me in a hospital, not hurt me. You got to take me out. Then I can't be effective. But if you just hurt me or hurt my ribs or my shoulder or my knee or something, and I can still function, then I'm going to beat you.
The story of Joe Gilliam's fall from grace is well chronicled. After leading the Steelers to a 4-1-1 record in early 1974, Gilliam was benched. He had already begun to experiment with drugs, and his benching gave him a reason to increase his usage.
I went overboard with it. I tried to have as much fun as I could. I remember distinctly Chuck Noll telling me one year in training camp, "Joe, you like to have fun. You're gonna fun your way right out of this league." He was right. I funned my way right out of the league.
After leaving the Steelers and the NFL, Joe played semi-pro ball and drifted from job to job. He made headlines for all the wrong reasons, but by 1983, he had broken his drug habit and tried a comeback with the Washington Federals of the USFL at the age of 32. Years of inactivity had eroded his skills, though, and when Joe recognized this, he retired from football and embarked on a new career.
I'm not for social drinking. Let somebody else come tell you about that. I know that abstinence, you stay away from it, for sure you're not going to have a problem.
Joe has become an accomplished public speaker. His message, just say no. He has delivered that message to countless high school audiences in his hometown of Nashville, Tennessee.
I'm as proud of being drug-free and helping, if it's just one kid, to say no or to turn his back on drugs because I've talked to him, then it's worth it.
This fall, Joe plans to take his public speaking career one step further. He's been meeting with the coaching staff of his alma mater, Tennessee State University in Nashville. The purpose of these meetings is to prepare Joe for his newest assignment, color man on the Tennessee State radio and TV network.
Hey, Joe, is this another example of an ex-jock getting involved in some sleazy business like broadcasting? I got in it for the money, but what's your reasons, son?
Oh, well, it's certainly not the money. Well, a little money, too, you know, on the side, but it's an opportunity for me to come back to my school and to make a positive contribution.
Jack, I know that was a very emotional trip for you, and you had the opportunity to sit there while Joe made his speech to the high school students.
Well, I think, you know, seeing Joe, he starts off his speech by telling all the young people, he said, I don't have any Super Bowl rings on my fingers. He said, I sold them all for drugs. And believe me, that really gets the attention of all the people he's talking to. And it was so great to see Joe turn his life around. He's a positive influence in the Nashville area, working with all young people in all the drug rehabilitation programs. And it's just, you know, doing the jackhammer members and seeing the way Joe Gilliam has turned out, it really was a great thing for me.
Was he a better quarterback than Bradshaw in 1974 at that point?
At that point in 1974, he had all the confidence in the world. Bradshaw did not at that time. You know, the big game for Joe Gilliam that year was when we had a 35-35 tie out in Denver, and he threw for almost 400 yards, which is unheard of in that era. And he really was better than Bradshaw at that time. As the weeks went on, when people, you know, kind of adjusted to Joe Gilliam defensively, and we got away from the running game, that's when Chuck Noll turned back to Bradshaw, and we went on to the Super Bowls. But I'll tell you, talking to Joe, he said, even though I wasn't playing, I was still rooting so much for Bradshaw when he was in there. He was that type of a team guy.
Well, I'm proud of you also, because it took you less than 3 preseasons to learn this is a sleazy business. It didn't take you that long. Joe Gilliam in Nashville, Tennessee. We'll be back with the second half kickoff in just a moment.
What time is it?
Too late to be here.
You know, we gotta be crazy.
Yeah, but who are we doing it for? Ourselves.
You ever think we'd have our own business?
Name a better team than you and me. All we needed was someone to back us.
Yeah, and the energy to put in 16-hour days.
The willingness to work a little harder. That's pride in performance. Some people build their lives on it. We built a bank on it. Pittsburgh National.
They're coming to McDonald's by skateboard, by canoe, even by teeter-totter. To get the most wanted mug in America.
Can you blame them?
It's Garfield on 4 colorful glass mugs.
Just the thing for when company drops in.
You get a different mug each week for a special price with any McDonald's food purchase.
Listen to the man. This is important.
This summer, McDonald's is serving up 4 Garfield mugs.
Summertime, serving up summertime.
And the living is easy, right, Odie?
At McDonald's.
Let's do the, get more to talk about it.
The Redskins will receive the second half kickoff. Gary Anderson to do those honors for the Steelers. Anderson, the only kicker in camp, and this is the biggest play of the game. Charles Lockett, 76-yard bomb from Bubby Brisket.
Walker really is looking to get the football in a dead area, but when no one's there, the secondary deep coverage is not there for the Redskins. He turns it upfield, and Brister puts the ball right on the money, and you cannot catch Charles Locke on that play when you give up about 5 or 7 yard head start. He walks into the end zone.
Anderson to kick off. Johnny Thomas, a 7th round draft pick out of Baylor, is back deep for the Redskins. Washington leads it 16-14, and they took the lead on a 56-yard field goal by Steve Cox at the end of the first half, the last play of the first half. And here's the 54-yard touchdown pass to Art Monk, and Chris Sheffield, I guess, Jack, his Cardinals said he took the play fake.
Yeah, the defensive back should never take a play-action fake. He cannot help out on the running play. He's got to get deep and back pedal out of there and make sure no wide receiver gets behind Sheffield. And he let Art Monk get behind him, and Schrader just laid the ball in there on a perfect throw down at the 5-yard line.
Anderson's kick. This is Thomas at the 5-yard line. Missed tackle. Thomas looking to get outside and almost does. Out near the 29-yard line. Again, the coverage was there, Jack, but the tackling wasn't real good for the Steelers.
Well, Hodge is coming downfield. He's one of the guys going for the ball carrier. He was not under control, a little sidestep, and he missed the tackle. He could have brought the ball carrier down inside the 20-yard line.
Joey Clinkscales eventually made the tackle. As you look at the quarterback comparison, Brister and Bono will probably split the second half of the Steelers. This is Doug Williams at quarterback for the Washington Redskins. 7th year out of Grambling. Of course, he spent a few years in the USFL. Played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Almost a mishandle. This is Timmy Smith. He's a 5th round draft choice out of Texas Tech, and Smith has been a training camp sensation for the Redskins, and they think that he's got a great opportunity to make the football team, although of course they already have Kelvin Bryant, George Rogers, and Keith Griffin. But they're very high on Timmy Smith, and Joe Gibbs said he was going to give him a real strong look in tonight's game.
Well, they think he's a hard-nosed, tough inside runner. He's got good speed to the corner as well, but just a punishing type running back, and he's been really the impressive guy in training camp in the running back position.
Alfred Jenkins, number 92, is the H-back. Doug Williams fires, and it is caught for a first down. The pass complete to Ricky Sanders. Harvey Clayton made the tackle. Clayton playing on the right corner, but Williams completes his first pass. The gain out to the 45. It is 1st and 10.
There been some trade rumors concerning Doug Williams as well. A couple combination deals where he may end up with the Raiders. He's a top-flight quarterback. He's been playing behind Schrader here for a couple of years now, and I'm sure he'd like to get a lot more playing time. They may be showcasing him a little bit here in this preseason.
Well, the Redskins really like Mark Ripien. He was a draft choice last year. They like him a great deal. Williams, short drop, fires out in the flat, and the pass is complete to Eric Yarber inside the 50 to the 48-yard line. He is the punt returner who had that nice 22-yard punt return in the first quarter. Chris Sheffield made the tackle.
It's the second time Sheffield in open field makes a good tackle. You see, he breaks down on the receiver. A couple of moves, he stays under control, comes up and makes the tackle. The second time he's done that in open field, although he gave up the touchdown pass, he's playing solid football since then.
Sheffield 15 pounds heavier this year than last. He's a 6'1", 200, second-year man. First team defensive front three in the ball game. Here's a delay. Smith to the 45 and very near a Redskin first down is a fumble, and the Steelers have recovered. It was on the far side of the field. The Redskins are arguing that Smith was down. Hardy Nickerson has the football. Robin Cole made the tackle, and Hardy Nickerson recovered.
Just a little delay. Smith breaking it to the outside, trying to go for that first down. We'll see if his knee touches before he fumbles the football. He goes down. It looks like it's a clean fumble right around the 45-yard line, and Nickerson comes up for it for the Steelers.
His knee was on top of Chris Sheffield, not the ground. The turnovers are even at 1 apiece, and the Steelers get a break at their own 44. Carter in motion. Delay handoff, and we'll lose some yardage on the play. Chuck Sanders from Penn Hills and Slippery Rock, the ball carrier. He'll lose a couple. Back to the 42 is Dave Butts made the tackle. Joey Klinkscale's in at one wide receiver. Lockett in at the other. We'll check the offensive line for you. Rostowski at right tackle. Long at right guard. Webster at center. Reenstra left guard. Jerry Quick at left tackle. Sanders and Carter the running backs. Brister over the middle. Incomplete. He was looking over the middle for his tight end Danzel Lee, and pretty good coverage by Vaughn. Going to bring up third down and long yardage.
Those are the routes that Chuck Knowles put in for the tight end. Those little crossing routes. You got wide receivers going deep downfield, and then you have Danzel Lee running a crossing route from the other side of the formation underneath the secondary. That time he was well covered by Vaughn and went for an incomplete pass.
Clarence Vaughn, 8th round draft choice out of Northern Illinois. Third down and long, 3rd and 12, just underway in the third quarter. Steelers trailing by 2 points. Quick pitch to Abercrombie. Looking for blockers to the 50. Barely into Redskin territory. 4 yards shy of the first down. Vaughn again on the tackle. Abercrombie picks up 8, but it'll force the Steelers to punt. And we're going to see Mike Crow, number 7. Crow is a rookie free agent. He's from Northwestern State. That's in Louisiana. Sanders back deep. Crow is a left-footed punter. And he is challenging Harry Newsom for the job. Kick bouncing inside the 15. Bounces the wrong way. And the Steelers will finally down it at the 22-23-yard line. And it turns out to be only a 27-yard kick, although he did get a backward bounce on it. 11-12 to play, third quarter. Redskins 16, the Steelers 14. There's a timeout on the field. We'll be back in a moment.
In the eyes of the world, I'm an American. I take pride in what I've done. I'm proud of who I am. I love the fresh, natural taste that's pure American. When I think about how good we have it here, I say my thanks and toast the glory of America with the one they call American beer.
You know, supermarket weekly specials don't save you money, they cost you money. Because when a store lowers one price, another goes up. Lower the corn, raise the sugar, oats, and beans. Save on a few things, lose on everything else. But the new Giant Eagle has no weekly specials. Instead, we promise absolute minimum pricing. Shop Giant Eagle, or find out the hard way that what goes down must come up. The new Giant Eagle, still changing the way you shop for food.
This is only the beginning, the first of 4 Steeler exhibition games and the first of 3 of our telecasts. A week from tomorrow night, Saturday night, August 22nd at 7 p.m., we'll be in Chicago at Soldier Field as the Steelers take on the Chicago Bears. Mike Ditka's got some quarterback problems. Jim McMahon, we don't know how healthy he is. He may see his first action against the Steelers a week from tomorrow night. Of course, there's Doug Flutie and Tom Zach, and of course, their number 1 draft choice, Jim Harbaugh. But the defense remains the same. Those guys are still there, and the fridge weighed in at a svelte 312.
Well, I think the defensive line of the Bears, we will find out how good our offensive line is. I think we're a solid offensive line in our starting unit, and going up against Richard Dent and McMichael and Refrigerator Perry and the likes of those guys, it'll be a good test for us. I think Chuck Knowles is glad he's got a tough preseason.
Well, they do have a tough schedule. The Redskins are playoff contender, the Bears, the Giants, and the Saints looking to make the playoffs for the first time in their history. That'll be on Saturday night, August 29th. Doug Williams again at quarterback. Firing over the middle, and it is incomplete. They're going to rule that Sheffield trapped it. David Little was the first man to get his hands on the football. Sheffield dove, but trapped it underneath. Little volleyball in the Steelers secondary.
Doug Williams is trying to do the same thing that Schrader did in the first. They have a lot of play action on first down against that zone. You see Darrell Sims right now trying to fight that double team in that nose tackle position. Just cannot get off the line of scrimmage against the 2 people trying to block him. A little bit of holding going on over there. A little hook on the part of the offensive lineman of the Redskins, but not called by the official.
That is Ed Simmons, 6th round draft choice out of East Washington, number 99. They are very high on him. Williams rushed, steps up, and the pass is incomplete, intended on the far sideline. Eric Yarber just couldn't quite keep his feet in bounds and hang on to the football. Sheffield was over there, but Yarber not able to hang on. It is 3rd down and 10. Simmons, the big right offensive tackle, weighs over 300 pounds.
Well, there's Darrell Sims right now trying to go one-on-one on the play. He's going up against Jeff Bostic, the backup center now. Russ Grimm, the starting center. One-on-one. He has a tough time against Bostic trying to put any kind of pressure on Doug Williams.
Again, though, Jack, we don't see Darrell Sims making any penetration. Not getting off the line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 10. Williams firing sideline, and it is caught. Sanders with a great catch. He took a fearful lick on the sideline from Rick Woods, who's back from his injury. But Sanders held onto the football, and it gives the Redskins a 1st down.
Stan, it's a shame that Doug Williams has to be a backup quarterback. He's shown good touch, what he didn't have early in his career at Tampa Bay. Good protection you see he gets by his offensive line, and he lays the ball up over for Sanders. It makes a tough catch, hit by Woods on the play, and hangs on to the football. You see him break to the outside. It's just a touch throw by Doug Williams in front of the defensive back, Woods, over the linebacker, and he makes a hard catch.
1st and 10 Redskins. Handoff inside, and the Skins will lose a yard on that play. Smith is knocked down by Gerald Williams, the 2nd draft choice a year ago in his 2nd year from Auburn. Moved to defensive end this year. Came into camp about 22 pounds lighter than he was a year ago. And they feel that his quickness has improved so much they wanted to move him outside, thus the move of Darrell Sims back inside. Jack, on the previous play, not to pick on people, but Harvey Clayton was trailing in the area. Would Sanders have been his man?
No, they're playing a zone defense. He's probably supposed to be a little bit wider on the play. They're playing a zone, and he just got in between the defensive back and Clayton, who was the underneath player.
Smith cuts up inside. Keith Gary grabs him around the waist. David Little also coming up, as did Bruce Jones. Williams.
Somebody probably unplugged it.
Smith with a good cut up when he found the hole. Gains yardage into Steeler territory at the 49, where it'll be 3rd down and 3.
It's two boxes over here, right?
Kenny Fells, first-year man out of Henderson State, number 21, the running back. Timmy Smith goes out. 3rd down and 3. Redskins are 8 out of 9. They get 5 out of 9 on 3rd down conversion. Steelers in a blitz. Williams fires, and it is caught for a 1st down. Excellent catch by the rookie running back, Kenny Fells. Little on the coverage, but Fells, who was on injured reserve last year, makes the catch for the 1st down.
Kenny Fells is doing the same thing that Kelvin Bryant does on a 3rd down situation. You see him at the top of the screen coming out, one-on-one coverage with David Little. David Little does a good job of trying to break on the football. It was just a good throw. He tried to get his hand in there. Fells makes the catch and turns up and gets the 1st down. When it's a 3rd down and 3 or 4, they love to go to the backs out of the backfield to get the 1st down.
McEwen is the H-back, number 98, 1st and 10 Redskins. Williams out in the flat to Yarber, missed tackle by Clayton, inside the 35 and down to the 33-yard line. That's the Redskin offense. A little dink here, a little dink there. And the thing they do, Jack, is spread the defense from sideline to sideline.
And the thing that makes it work is both Schrader and Doug Williams can fire the football. This is a rope coming out to Yarber, and Clayton come up. He's not under control, tries to arm tackle. Yarber just breaks it to the inside and gets about 5 or 6 more yards. But Doug Williams has a rifle arm. So does Jay Schrader. And those quick hitch passes get out to the wide receiver in a hurry.
Eric Yarber, 2nd-year man out of Idaho. The Redskins with a 1st down at the Steeler 33. Washington leads it 16-14 midway through the 3rd quarter. Flag down. Smith, good yardage inside the 30, and they'll rule him down at the 28. But again, a flag is down. Rick Woods made the tackle. Thus far, remarkably, it has been a penalty-free game.
Especially for the first preseason game. But I can see why Tim Smith, they're very high on him, because he is a tough, hard runner. He refuses to go down. You see him right now in a little delay. He gets the football. You see Darrell Sims right now just getting blocked off the line of scrimmage. It's a big drop-off when you go from Gary Dunn to Darrell Sims at nose tackle, because Gary Dunn will get the penetration. That time Darrell Sims just got blown off the football.
Craig McEwen, rookie tight end out of Utah, is the man down on the play. Redskins have a lot of tight ends in camp because they used to on every offensive down. 6 minutes to play in the third quarter. Darrell Sims again. He gets cut by McEwen, and that's how he got hurt. Darrell Sims fell on him. There's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm not going to make it. 6 minutes to play in the third quarter. The Redskins lead the Steelers 16-14. We'll be back in a moment.
I was on vacation from Bella, Pennsylvania Yellow Pages when...
Hungry, Joe?
Starved, Doreen.
So what's for lunch?
I thought you packed it.
First no bait, now no food. We're stuck.
Lucky I carry this.
The Yellow Pages.
Everywhere I go.
We're in a boat, Joe. Lou's on the lake. Live bait, fish and chips, lakeside view. Gas.
Need any help, Joe? Look for the name Bella, Pennsylvania Yellow Pages. It's everything a directory should be.
The big one is back.
GM's big one is back.
The big one from GM is back.
GM's big one is back with 1.9%, the best GM AC financing plan ever.
1.9%?
Or up to $1,000 cash back on most new 1987 GM cars. Also, $2,000 rebates are available on selected Cadillacs where special financing rates do not apply. GM's big one is back, but not for long.
Let's go!
This telecast is authorized by the Pittsburgh Steelers and WTAE-TV. No account, retransmission, or description of this game may be used without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Steelers and WTAE-TV. The crowd at RFK, which oftentimes has been described as the loudest in the NFL, is doing the wave. In my book, they get a demerit for that. First down and 5. The penalty was on the Steelers. The Redskins accepted. First and 5 from the Steeler 28. Smith looking outside, gets outside to the 20. He's down to the 15-yard line. Timmy Smith turned the corner, beat the defensive end who got blocked in and the linebacker and got outside. Harvey Clayton came up to make the tackle, but not before Smith gets down to the Steeler 15 for a 13-yard gain.
He puts a little hesitation move on Joe Williams there on the backside. He cuts back against the grain, against the pursuit. Little hesitation on Joe Williams. Leaves him standing still, then goes downfield for additional yardage. Finally, Clayton coming off the block downfield, made the tackle, but Smith also has good speed besides being a tough runner as well.
He's got 27 yards on 5 carries. First and 10 from the 15. Williams, the fade pattern to Sanders. Touchdown, Redskins. Ricky Sanders beat Harvey Clayton. A 15-yard touchdown pass, and the Redskins have gone out to their largest lead of the evening.
A combination of two things, a great move by Sanders on the fade route, and also Doug Williams does a great job at timing and laying his ball in here. A lob throw in the corner of the end zone. He beats Harvey Clayton by a step, and it's just an easy catch in the corner of the end zone by Sanders. The thing that Harvey Clayton has to do is jam Sanders at the line of scrimmage and disrupt the route, because it's a timing route between Sanders and Williams, and it was right there in the corner of the end zone for the score.
It's a great, great pass. Max Zendejas on to attempt the extra point, his first appearance of the evening. Zendejas' kick is good, and the Redskins complete a 77-yard touchdown drive with a touchdown pass of 15 yards from Doug Williams to Ricky Sanders. 7:01 to play in the third quarter. We've got a timeout on the field. The score, the Redskins 23, the Steelers 14. We'll be back in a moment.
Junction Boulevard backed up 5-6 blocks. Rubbernecking delays have traffic backed out about halfway to the interchange southbound, and it's stop and go.
Contrary to popular belief, there are millions of miles of roads totally unfettered by traffic, and one car that will inspire you to get up earlier to find them. The new BMW 325i. With 39% more power than its predecessor, it has the singular ability to bring a whole new meaning to the expression, rush hour.
And it's stop and go northbound all the way.
Well, the summer's heating up for another season of softball fundraisers, and let me tell you, the WTAE No-Stars are better than ever this year. We've practiced against some pretty stiff competition, and we've really sharpened our skills. We're ready to go up against the big boys. Come on, Billy!
You're out of there, Mr.
Catch the WTAE No Stars.
Doug Williams starting the second half of the Redskins and off to a great start.
Now here's the play again. You see Williams right away just throwing the football up in the air. That's because Sanders got by Harvey Clayton without being jammed and let the ball go right in the corner of the end zone. It's a tough throw by Williams. He's got to just lead Sanders right to the corner way before he gets there, and Sanders just got off the line of scrimmage without being jammed by Harvey Clayton, and that's why the play worked for a touchdown.
What you were saying, Jack, is that it's a timing route, and if a cornerback jams the receiver, it throws all the timing off.
Timing is off on a play, and there's no way that Sanders even gets to the end zone to come up with that football. Right at the snap of the ball, they feel they're going to get off the line of scrimmage without a jam. He did on the play, and that's why the touchdown occurred.
Zendejas will kick off, and Dwight Stone is back deep for the Steelers. Stone takes at the 1. Stone breaking a few tackles and picking his way across the 20 and out near the 22-yard line. 77-yard drive for the Redskins. Took them 9 plays, and of course the touchdown pass to Ricky Sanders. Tim Morrison, reserve cornerback, made the tackle on the kickoff return. The Steelers start out with their 22, although there is a flag on the play. It appears to be against the Redskins, offside. See if the Steelers order a re-kick. I assume that they will. If for no other ball, touchdown pass to Ricky Sanders. Tim Morrison, reserve cornerback, made the tackle on the kickoff return. The Steelers start out with their 22, although there is a flag on the play. It appears to be against the Redskins, offside. See if the Steelers order a re-kick. I assume that they will. If for no other reason, Jack, than to get an extra look at guys on special teams.
And plus the fact Dwight Stone, he's got great speed, and he's got to use it and make up his mind quickly and make a decision. When he gets to the line around the 20-yard line, he starts jitterbugging around and trying to go to the outside. If there's a hole, there's a seam there, hit it right away, use that speed. He gets through on a crack, and he may be gone.
You saw Joe Jacoby with an injured left ankle. He will be out for the rest of the game, although it's doubtful he would have played in the second half anyway. The first kickoff that Stone returned, it looked like he had a seam, but he began to jitterbug a little bit too much. And kickoff returning, you don't do a whole lot of jitterbugging unless you get way out in the open.
The guys who are great kickoff return men who make that decision at high speed, and that seam just opens up for them. They're through it in a hurry. Anytime he's try to get misdirection, going against the grain, you may make a big play here or there, but usually it ends up on penalties because guys lose position on their blockers downfield, and usually lose yardage as well.
I think kickoff returning is best stated when you say the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. After the 5-yard penalty, Zendejas will kick off from the 30. Stone approaches and takes at the 11. Stone almost breaks it. He got across the 40 and out to the 41-yard line. That'll be a 30-yard return for Dwight Stone. Again, perhaps a jitterbug, but Dwight Stone, a 30-yard return. Steve Gage made the tackle. He's a rookie safety out of Tulsa. The Steelers start out at their own 41-yard line. Pittsburgh led the ball game 14-13, but the Redskins have now scored 10 unanswered points and lead 23-14. Bubby Brister remains the quarterback. Chuck Sanders 45, Rodney Carter 44 are the running backs. Bubby setting up a screen to Sanders. Chuck Sanders hit hard near the 48-yard line, the Steeler 48-yard line. Chuck Sanders, drafted by San Diego, let go. The Steelers acquired him, played most of the season with Pittsburgh last year. He's a local product out of Penn Hills High School and Slippery Rock.
And he's really fighting for a job with all the solid running backs, with Rodney Carter coming back healthy now. And Hodge also doing a good job in the first half. He knows he's in a fight for his life here in the running back position. 2nd down and 2. Dwight Stone fumbles the pitch. And he's very fortunate to get back to the line of scrimmage. He had a blocker ahead of him, but he fumbled the pitch, and obviously that destroyed the play. Mel Kaufman made the tackle for Washington. It'll be 3rd down and 2. One thing about Rod Stone, when he gets the football, something exciting always happens. Juggled the kickoff return down around the 3-yard line, almost broke one near the 40-45-yard line, and now in a quick pitch, just could not hang on to the football. I know in practice for special teams, he dropped a lot of kickoff returns, but that was in the sun. We'll just see if he has those good hands.
Brister, quick pop, and it is caught by Theo Young. A flag is down. The Steelers have the first down. Theo Young, the tight end, caught the pass from Brister, who is now 5 out of 7. Wilburn ran him out of bounds, but a flag is down further downfield, and it may have been a pass interference or defensive holding on Washington. If it's pass interference, they'll take the penalty because they give them a first down at the Redskin 36.
12 men on the defense. 12 men on the defense.
12 men on the defense. The Steelers will take the play. The gain was 6. Of course, the penalty would be just 5, so they'll take the play. Theo Young's looked pretty good catching a couple of passes here. We caught him one time on an isolation camera throwing a pretty good block.
When I talked to Tony Dungy, when they run that skeleton passing drill up at training camp going against the tight ends, he feels they have the best collection of tight ends they've had here in a long time with Kelly, Danzelli, and Theo Young. And I think Theo Young and Danzelli both look very good in the first half, and also Young right here in the third quarter.
Steelers with a first down, the ball just inside the 47-yard line. Clint scales wide to the near side. Brister pump fake, fires deep down the sideline, and it is caught. What a great grab. We've got a flag on the play. Charles Lockett made the catch and ripped it right away from the defender, Todd Bowles.
Illegal contact. 41 defense.
Pass interference on Todd Bowles. It is declined, and Charles Lockett comes up with a big play. So he's shown both elements of receiving. He's shown the ability to break wide open, but he also showed he can fight for the football in the crowd.
Here's the down and out and up. He tries to jam him right here. That's outside the 5-yard penalty. That's why the flag came down. You see Lockett on the outside just going up and fighting for the football. Bowles never even saw the ball come over his shoulder, but the penalty was for jamming the guy outside the 5-yard area.
Sanders runs into Brister. And perhaps a yard down near the 20-yard line. My mistake, Jack. That was Tim Morrison who Lockett was fighting for the ball with, and it was Bowles who came over to make the tackle.
Charles Lockett, they told me at training camp the guy's will go up for the football and catch it anywhere in the crowd. He got great concentration in catching the football with people around him, and even though he got jammed and got knocked off his balance a little bit on the play, he kept his concentration on the football and made the catch.
Lockett wide left to the top of your screen, and Joey Clinkscales, the other rookie wide receiver, to the bottom of your screen, split to the right. Second down and 8. Brister for Lockett, and it is caught inside the 10-yard line, and that'll give the Steelers a first down and a first down and goal. Morrison made the tackle, but Charles Lockett, his third catch on a slant pattern.
Just that quick post pattern, the inside in his zone, and Bubby Brister does a good job right in the seam between the linebackers and in front of the defensive back. A low pass, Lockett goes down and makes the catch, and he's an impressive wide receiver. They said he had a great camp up in Latrobe, but he's carrying over here in the game this evening.
First and goal from the 9-yard line. Chris Kelly in at tight end, number 81. Sanders to the 5. He fumbles, and the Redskins recover. Chuck Sanders inside the 5-yard line was hit. He fumbled, and it was picked out of midair by the Redskins. Todd Bowles recovered the fumble on a fly, and the Steeler drive is halted.
Those are the type of plays that Chuck Noll will go absolutely crazy when he reviews the film. Fumbling the football on a good run inside the 5-yard line. A little misdirection counter play. Good block by Terry Long on the play. Enables Sanders to get inside of the block. Now he just fumbles the football on the way down. It bounces off of one of the Redskins, number 31, Clarence Vaughn, and they come up with the football inside the 5-yard line.
Morrison strips Sanders of the football. It bounces off Vaughn and right into the hands of Todd Bowles. 3:40 to play in the third quarter. We've got a timeout with a score. The Redskins 23, the Steelers 14. We'll be back in just a moment.
McDonald's presents the most wanted mug in America.
Who could resist a mug like this?
4 colorful glass Garfield mugs you can buy.
Believe me, I'm worth it.
For a special price with any McDonald's food purchase. There's a different mug each week featuring Garfield. Garfield?
Just getting my mug ready for my public.
This summer, McDonald's is serving up 4 Garfield mugs.
Summertime, serving up summertime.
It's the most wanted mug in America.
At McDonald's.
The Redskins at their own 4-yard line. On the first down play, Doug Williams threw an incompletion over the middle intended for his tight end Alfred Jenkins. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Redskins. They're backed up at their own 4-yard line after the fumble recovery. High backfield. Timmy Smith across the 5 and out to the 6-yard line. Edmund Nelson makes the tackle. Chris Sheffield and Burden getting into it a little bit. Gain of a couple. Will be 3rd down and 8 yards to go. Clock running, 3:15 to play in the 3rd quarter. Only scoring in the quarter has been done by the Redskins. So an important 3rd down conversion for the Steeler defense. 6 out of 10, the Redskins on 3rd down conversion. Williams straight back, looking and firing a home run ball. Incomplete, and no flag will be thrown. Burden running downfield, Sheffield on the coverage. You'll remember just a few seconds ago they were pushing and shoving at each other. Well, Chris Sheffield, whose strength normally is man-to-man coverage, gets the coverage there and will force the Redskins to punt out of their own end zone.
It was the exact same defense they ran that time that Monk caught the touchdown pass. This time Sheffield gets out of there, gets deep as the deepest receiver coming downfield. He's right with Burden and could go up with the football. He had good position down on the sidelines. I think he learned his lesson from that touchdown pass in the first half.
And this time you can pretty much disregard a play fake when it's 3rd and 8.
Well, even if it's 3rd and 4, the defensive back on the corner is not going to take the run fake and should not.
Jack Wiles, 2nd-year man out of Wyoming, punts. Woods takes at the 46. Outside to the 40 and is run out of bounds at the Redskin 35. So a good return by Woods, and the Steelers in excellent position after they were robbed of a touchdown and a fumble near the goal line. 2:39 to play in the 3rd quarter. The Steelers trailing by 9. Plenty of time to get back in. Dan Reeder will come into the game as one of the Steeler running backs. Bubby Brister remains at quarterback. Brister will probably get this drive, and when the drive is ended, whether they score or not, we most likely would see Steve Bono.
And I'm sure Charles Lockett in the huddle right now is telling Bubby Brister, I can get open on any play out here. Just throw me the football and I'll catch it.
Mike Webster doing duty as a 14-year veteran. Brister on the flat to Carter, needs to make a move. He does. Gets inside to the 26-yard line, short of the 1st down, but a flag is down. Steve Thompson, a rookie defensive tackle, made the tackle. The play would have gained 9, but it's going to be a hold on the Steelers, and it'll bring it back.
Number 40 offense, holding. 10-yard penalty. We'll replay the first down.
Hot and humid in Washington, although not as bad as it can be here. Really, the last 2 days have been very pleasant. A little more humid tonight.
I expected a lot worse here up in this booth.
Yep. And that's not even talking about the weather. 1st down and 20 for the Steelers at the Redskin 45. Brister's in trouble. Fires. And it is caught. No, they're going to rule incomplete. A lot of indecision on the part of the official. The pass intended for Danzel Lee. I thought he had it. They rule no. Incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 20.
With the Redskins crossed up Bubby Brister, usually on 1st down they played that zone. He's going to try to run the screen out to the outside to Sanders. They played man-to-man. He had to come off of Sanders and go downfield, and almost looked like Danzel Lee came up with a tough catch down around the 35-yard line, but the official who had the good view of the play called it an incomplete pass.
When you run a screen, is there still an outlet receiver in case that happens?
When he reads man-to-man, he's going to come off that receiver and go downfield to one of the wide receivers running an individual route.
Brister tripped up from behind and gets down to the 41-yard line. Gain of about 4. It'll still be 3rd and very long. Steve Hamilton tripped him up by the ankle. It'll be 3rd and 16. Steelers have been in Washington territory in their last 2 possessions, but they fumbled on the 5-yard line, and then a penalty brought back a 9-yard play. The Steelers 4 out of 8 on 3rd down conversions. This will be a long one. 3rd down and 16. They'd like to get at least into field goal range. There's a blitz. Brisker fires, caught by Clinkscales at the 37-yard line, well short of the 1st down. It'll be a 4th down and very long yardage, but it may be close enough for Anderson to at least try a field goal. Vernon Dean and Barry Wilburn make the stop for Washington. Nope, they're going to bring on Mike Crow, and they're going to punt rather than try a 54-yard field goal.
Here's Clinkscale going downfield, just ran a quick hook pattern against us. It's a blitz situation. He did not get downfield enough for the 1st down with a long yardage on 3rd down and long. He had a hook up. It's good defense by the Redskins. They put pressure on Brister, and he had to get rid of the football before Clinkscale could run any other kind of route downfield for a possible 1st down.
Bubby now 6 out of 9. Crow only had a 27-yarder his first kick. This one won't be a whole lot better. It's out of bounds at the 10, but where did it cross the sideline? The official walking up the field takes his constitutional up to the 15-yard line. So it's only a 22-yard punt, and the Redskins will start out the 15 with only 41 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Brister's had a pretty good game, Jack. Things, not in terms of statistics necessarily, but the fact that he's reading well and seeing things that a quarterback has to see in opponent's defense. We've got a timeout. The Redskins lead it by 9. We'll return in a moment.
McDonald's presents the most wanted mug in America.
Who could resist a mug like this?
4 colorful glass Garfield mugs you can buy.
Believe me, I'm worth it.
For a special price with any McDonald's food purchase. There's a different mug each week featuring Garfield. Garfield?
Just getting my mug ready for my public.
This summer, McDonald's is serving up 4 Garfield mugs.
Some summertime, serving up summertime.
It's the most wanted mug in America.
At McDonald's.
Pittsburgh is a town that loves to talk, fight, argue, and we have a forum to let them fight it out on the air. WTAE is Pittsburgh.
I myself enjoy the heck out of listening to WTAE's talk shows because, you see, it makes your noodle work. And I think there are a lot of people out there who enjoy making their noodle work.
Listen to Pittsburgh's own News Talk 1250, the new WTAE.
Joe Green coaching in his first game. Just last Saturday installed into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. A ceremony both Jack and I attended. Very moving, emotional day for everyone who was there. Now he's coaching in the National Football League. Must be quite a night for him, Jack, to be coaching in your first game.
When I talked him up at training camp, he was really excited about coming in and coaching this game this Friday night, and he felt the defensive linemen have come a long way. He's instilled a couple of techniques that he uses. He brought back the headbutt that George Perlish used back in the 70s, trying to get this defensive lineman to come off the football a little bit better and get penetration, and also that stun 4-3 that he made work for us in our Super Bowl years. They played that a little bit in the 2nd quarter.
Into the game now is Charles Buchanan, number 77, the Steelers' 8th round pick out of Tennessee State. Timmy Smith breaks a tackle and gets out near the 20-yard line. Hardy Nickerson made the tackle for the Steelers from the inside backer position. The gain for the Skins will be 4. It'll be 2nd down and about 6.
I'm watching Hardy Nickerson right now, just going with the flow, coming down the line of scrimmage, just trying to read the running back and just come off the blocks. You see him come over and just get part of the tackle on Smith as he comes down the line of scrimmage. The defensive lineman kept Nickerson kind of clean on the play. He could find and sift out the running back and then help out on the tackle.
And that will be the end of the 3rd quarter of play as you see the clock counting down. We have reached the end of the 3rd quarter. The score, Washington 23, the Steelers 14.
You going to work already?
It's 7 o'clock.
It's been a rough week. No, I'm not going to be a resident forever, you know.
You'll always work like one.
Hey.
He likes little kids. And someday there's going to be more money.
And we won't know what to do with it.
Right. Maybe it's time we get some advice.
The willingness to work a little harder. That's pride in performance. Some people build their lives on it. We built a bank on it. Pittsburgh National.
Not a rushing game for either team, and of course both of these teams make their living to a large degree on the ground. Not much running yardage. Both teams have passed well. The Steelers behind in total yardage and behind on the scoreboard. All set to begin the fourth quarter. In case you joined us a little bit late, we should mention that we learned earlier tonight that Rod Woodson and the Steelers have agreed on financial terms, but there is a sticking point in that Woodson wants to run in the '88 Olympics, and he wants a caveat in the contract that would allow him to run in the '88 Olympics, which means he would not be available to the Steelers until mid-September of 1988. Of course, the Steelers don't want any part of that. They would lose him for a season and a half. As you look at the Washington Monument on the left and the Capitol Building on the right, I think that Brian Bosworth, with the taxes he's going to pay in his new contract, they can build a third one if they want to. Bosworth today signed a contract for $11 million over a 10-year period. You can buy a lot of hair dye and earrings with that. Play fake, Williams over the middle, and it's wide open and caught for a first down to McEwen. Craig McEwen, the rookie tight end, with the pass reception across the 35 and out to the 37-yard line.
Well, I can't say enough about Doug Williams, the kind of zip he has on the football, both to the wide receivers and that time to the tight end. McEwen coming right off the line of scrimmage, and a quick flip by him. I'll tell you one thing, a quarterback has a strong arm like that, he can play in this league for a long time.
First and 10, Washington at the 37-yard line. Here's a delay, a fumble, and I think the Redskins were able to pick it up, or they ruled the play down. Charles Buchanan came flying out of there, but they are going to rule that it was not a fumble. The Redskins will retain possession. Robin Cole made the initial hit on the play.
Ed Simmons picked it up and crawled for about 4 or 5 yards, and I think the officials gave him the forward crawling progress down to the 44-yard line.
Simmons, the Redskins think maybe their starting right tackle. They have moved Mark May to guard because of the progress that Simmons, a rookie, has made. He's another 300-pounder for the Hogs. Timmy Smith with a good, solid run support play. Coming up was Harvey Clayton. Robin Cole made the initial hit on him. Smith is right near the first down yardage. We're going to call for a measurement here.
Joe Gibbs said he wanted to take a long look at Timmy Smith, and I'll tell you one thing, he is a prospect and could really help this football team. You got Calvin Bryan, who is a nifty back and good receiver out of the backfield. Rogers is out with a toe injury. This could be the backup running back they need, along with Badanek, who could give them a solid running back situation here at Washington.
First down for Washington, their 15th of the game. And for Smith, 39 yards on 9 carries. Badanek will come into the game, replacing Tim Smith. First and 10, Redskins, their own 47. Using the clock, they lead by 9 at 23-14. 13 minutes and 5 seconds to play in the game. Badanek looking for a hole. And Tim Johnson makes a big play for the Steelers. The ball is loose, and it is picked up. Greg Carr with the football. It's going to stand. Tim Johnson made the tackle, flung Badanek around, caused the fumble, and Greg Carr picked it up, and the Steelers will have the ball near the Redskin 30-yard line.
Joe Green told me that Tim Johnson is a player. He came into camp and just knows how to work with his hands. This time he just gets penetrations. Badanek gets the football. Usually he does not cough the ball up. You see 78 right now, Johnson trying to strip him of the football and just throw Badanek down, and as he does, the ball finally does pop out. He strips him of the football as Badanek was still trying to make progress. The official did not blow the whistle, and finally Carr comes up with the fumble. Pittsburgh ball.
Give Kelvin Middleton a hand because he stuck his hand there and helped strip the ball out of there. The Steelers at the 27-yard line and a chance. Brister sideline caught by Carter. Short gain. They'll mark him down and around the 24-yard line. A pickup of about 3. 2nd and 7. Morrison made the tackle for the Redskins.
Stan, last year before Rodney Carter got hurt, he was a big plus for the Pittsburgh offense because he could catch the football out of the backfield. He did that in college, and he started off this game and doing the same thing. If he is healthy, again, he's another running back who's got a good shot at making the football team.
Bubby Brister, 7 out of 10, 136 yards and a touchdown. Delay, Dan Reeder. Reeder inside the 20, and Reeder's down to the 15, 14-yard line. He fumbles the football. It is loose from the sideline, and the Redskins have recovered. Reeder had the football and a first down. He fumbled, and it is recovered by Tim Morrison. So twice the Steelers have fumbled when they were driving for touchdowns. Monty Coleman made the hit, along with Barry Wilburn, and Morrison recovered. And 2 fumbles. The Steelers have fumbled 3 times tonight. Sanchez once, Reeder once, and Chuck Sanders once. And 2 of the fumbles have cost them scoring opportunities.
Stan, a lot of time when you're trying to make this football team, you're trying that extra effort and trying to go over that extra yard or 2. Sometimes you cough up the football, and that's what happened on that play.
Dan Reeder paid the price, 12:05 to play in the game. We've got a timeout with the Redskins leading 23-14. We'll be back in a moment.
There's a clearance at your Chrysler Plymouth store, and it's sending all our new cars out the door. Everything goes. Everything goes.
Hurry in now, because we're dealing on everything in stock. Get financing as low as 1.9% or up to $750 cash back. Plus, get the 770 protection plan.
Everything goes. Everything goes.
See Keck Chrysler Plymouth in Butler, Jones in Beaver Falls, and Colonial in Beaver.
Wine is fine with Calvin's cooler. Get together, Calvin and you.
You haven't tasted the best till you've tasted Calvin.
It's finally here, Pittsburgh. Truly grand opera in the glorious new Benedum Center. Now my friend Tito Capobianco is able to bring you stunning world-class opera, such as Pittsburgh has never seen before. Ah, the music, the romance, the singing. Pittsburgh, voice your support. Call for tickets.
The Redskins seem to be following a tradition in their preseason games against the Steelers. Last year, you'll recall that Babe Laufenberg came in and had a great second half against the Steelers. They cut him 2 weeks later anyway. But Doug Williams having a terrific second half for the Redskins. They won't cut him. But certainly there are people around the league who will see films of this game and figure this guy can help us.
You know, I played against Doug Williams when he was with Tampa Bay, and you knew he was a great talent. All he needed was get the experience. And now with a quality team like the Redskins, he can really show what he can do and also develop a little touch on the football, which he didn't have early in his career.
There's the latest in footwear, modeled by Joe Jacoby. Williams looking, firing, and overthrows, incomplete. In the right flat, Clayton was over there, Carr over there. Hardy Nickerson dropped back in coverage.
Both teams doing a lot of throwing on first down when the defense is in run-down situation. That time, there was no one open at all, and finally, at the last minute, Doug Williams just flicked that ball out of bounds and went for the incomplete pass.
We want to mention that Delton Hall, the Steelers' #2 draft pick, there he is at the bottom of your screen, number 35, is in the game at cornerback for the Steelers. Fumbled snap. Darrell Sims made contact.
Encroachment, 99, nose guard for the defense.
Well, the penalty against Sims will cost the Steelers 5 and make it 2nd down and 5. Well, at least Darrell made contact. Exactly 12 minutes to play in the football.
Stan, you're cruel. Well, we all knew that.
2nd down and 5. Alfred Jenkins, rookie tight end, in short motion. Smith, good running room and a good solid stick in there by Bruce Jones, first-year player out of North Alabama, number 47. Football is out to the 20-yard line. That's good enough for a first down despite the short gain. Smith's numbers on the evening. 1st and 10, Washington. They have 16 first downs on the evening. But contrast, the Steelers have 13. Smith is a rookie out of Texas Tech and the Redskins' 5th-round draft choice this year. Williams, and it is intercepted. Harvey Clayton. Clayton to the 30. Clayton to the 20. Clayton is down to the 10-yard line. Harvey Clayton with the interception. He returns at 23 yards to the Redskin 10. Bill Keir, offensive guard, made the tackle, but Clayton with the Steelers' first interception of the night.
Doug Williams sees the zone defense try to squeeze the ball in here, and Harvey Clayton breaks on the football and does a good job of picking this ball off. He's got good hands, and bobbled it for a second and came up. He was the underneath man on the coverage, came up with the interception. You see him at the top of the screen now. Just jam a guy and settle down. They're trying to go deep behind him. Really was a bad throw by Doug Williams. It was on the line. He should have lobbed it, tried to lob it over his head, and Clayton came up with the interception.
Steve Bono is in at quarterback, his first appearance in Steeler, and Corey Gilmore is hit in the backfield and dropped for a loss at the 14-yard line. Tony Settles, a linebacker, a rookie out of Elon College, made the stop. Corey Gilmore, a rookie free agent from San Diego State, 6'1", 203 pounds, number 25, and his first carry is a 4-yard loss. The Steelers have been knocking at the door their last 3 possessions, but haven't been able to get anything on the board. They're going to need a field goal somewhere along the line. Bono, drafted by the Minnesota Vikings 3 years ago, was cut loose last December and signed by the Steelers as a free agent. Bono, pass is caught by Warren Seitz at the 7-yard line. Second-year man out of Missouri, Morrison made the tackle. It'll be 3rd down. Football at the 7-yard line. 3rd down and goal. Merrill Hodge comes into the game. Steelers 3 out of 7 on 3rd down conversions. Bono looking, throwing, and it is batted away. Nice play by Monty Coleman. That's about as well as you can play past the fence. He stuck his arm in there and batted the ball away. Would have been short of the goal line anyway, and that'll force the Steelers to go for a field goal. Gary Anderson's first field goal attempt of the evening.
Steve Bono has to show something here in the last 9 minutes and 36 seconds. He has not looked impressive at training camp. Mark Malone has looked very good, so has Bubby Brister, but Bono has been a little bit of a disappointment to the coaches up there, hoping he'd play a little bit better in the game. So far, he has not.
Anderson with a 25-yard field goal. Newsom to Hole. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So Gary Anderson brings the Steelers to within a touchdown. The Steelers score for the first time in the second half. 9:34 to play in the game, and the Steelers have drawn to within 6. The score, Washington 23, the Steelers 17, and we'll be back in just a moment.
You know what makes a Giant Eagle pizza so good? Everything that goes into it comes from Giant Eagle. Pizza dough from a homemade recipe. 100% real mozzarella cheese and richly seasoned sausage and pepperoni from our deli. Vegetable toppings, so fresh they could only come from our produce department. And since we make it, but you bake it, you get oven-fresh pizza for as little as $1.99. Giant Eagle Pizza. It's as good as everything we put into it.
We were answering an emergency call for Bella, Pennsylvania Yellow Pages.
They're crawling out of the woodwork.
Termites, sir.
Yellow Pages, like these.
Frank?
This guy says he's got more than Yellow Pages.
Sure.
I say, what more could I want than genuine Yellow Pages?
From Bella, Pennsylvania. The book your customers buy from. The book that built your business.
So, what do I do with these?
You're the exterminator. Think about it. Don't be fooled. Advertise in the genuine Yellow Pages. From Bella, Pennsylvania. We wrote the book.
From behind, Redskin coach Joe Gibbs. He has seen his team's lead shrink to 6 points. Harvey Clayton's interception gave the football to the Steelers at around the 10-yard line, but they weren't able to do much with only 3 yards and 3 plays. Anderson with a 25-yarder has brought the Steelers back to within 6 points at 23-17.
And Joe Gibbs going into training camp this year felt for them to get back to the Super Bowl, they've got to obviously overtake the New York Giants in their division. The Giants beat them 3 times last year, twice during the regular season and also playoffs. He felt they were very physical against the Redskins, especially down here, hoping his team would be a little bit more physical this year, and that was his idea going into training camp, to make his team just a little bit tougher than last year.
Gary Anderson to kick off, and Johnny Thomas is back deep. Anderson's kick. Thomas over the shoulder at the 3. Slips a bit and gets back to the 20-yard line. Steve Apke down there on coverage for the Steelers special teams. Also on the tackle was Kelvin Middleton, who has made a splash on special teams. Also Theo Young down there. The Redskins start out their 20-yard line with 9:23 to play in the game.
And they continue to have Doug Williams in the game. I thought we might see Ripken here maybe the last quarter and a half, but they're going to continue to go with Doug Williams. Maybe they are showcasing him for an obvious trade.
Charles Buchanan, left defensive end. Tim Johnson, right defensive end. Smith, not much doing this time. That's about 2, perhaps 3 yards. Robin Cole made the tackle on the play for the Steelers. Nickerson and Cole are the inside linebackers. On the outside, number 97, Joe Williams, rookie free agent out of Grambling. Delton Hall remains at left corner. 2nd down and 7. Washington, their own 23. Williams' rush gets it away, and it is incomplete. Once again, Harvey Clayton coming up very strongly and almost tugging the ball away from the receiver. Almost had his 2nd interception. Finally wrested it away from Ted Wilson, the wideout, number 93. So it'll bring up 3rd down and 7 for Doug Williams and the Redskins.
One thing Harvey Clayton does well is break on the football when he sees the ball. He got good quickness to come up and maybe make the play. Looked like he had the ball for a second, then dropped it. I see him right now. You see, watch Darrell Sims right on the nose trying to get penetration. That Doug Williams, the protection finally breaks down at the end, but Doug Williams had a lot of time to throw the football, and really, you see at the end, Harvey Clayton almost coming up with the interception.
And Doug Williams calls for a timeout. That's the first one the Redskins have used this half, so they still have 2 remaining. .8:38 to play in the football game. We've got a timeout with the score. Washington 23, the Steelers 17. We'll be back in a moment.
They're coming to McDonald's by skateboard, by canoe, even by teeter-totter. To get the most wanted mug in America.
Can you blame them?
It's Garfield on 4 colorful glass mugs.
Just the thing for when company drops in.
You get a different mug each week for a special price with any McDonald's food purchase.
Listen to the man. This is important.
This summer, McDonald's is serving up 4 Garfield mugs.
Summertime, serving up summertime.
And the living is easy, right, Odie?
At McDonald's.
In the eyes of the world, I'm an American. I take pride in what I've done. I'm proud of who I am. I love the fresh, natural taste that's pure American. When I think about how good we have it here, I say my thanks and toast the glory of America with the one they call American beer.
The Redskins will come to the line of scrimmage with a 3rd down and 7. Washington 6 out of 11 on 3rd down conversions this evening. One of the things the Redskins wanted to do, because they were manhandled by the Giants 3 times last year, of course once in the playoffs, the Giants has totally shut down the Redskin running game. And Joe Bugel, the offensive line coach and assistant head coach, that he wants bigger offensive linemen. That's why they moved Russ Grimm, who's 275, back to center. That's why Jeff Bostic, who's only 255 pounds, has been demoted to 2nd string, not because of his play, but because of his size. Rookie linebacker Kurt Govea. Redskins have only gained 81 yards rushing tonight on 23 carries. 3rd down and 7. Williams is rushed. He fires, and it is caught for a first down. Kenny Fells beating David Little out of the backfield, but there is a flag down on the play. A good rush by the Steelers, but a good throw by Williams and a better catch by Fells, but the penalty on the play.
Illegal use of the hands, a push to the face. 57 defense.
Now one of the Steeler defensive linemen hits someone in the face mask. That's illegal, so the play will stand. It gets the Redskins out of the hole. More importantly, it keeps the football away from the Steelers.
At that time, Pittsburgh got good pressure from the defensive line, but Doug Williams, that's a little bit like Terry Bradshaw, throwing the football off his back foot as he's backpedaling, put a lot of velocity on the ball to Fells, and he's at halfback out of the backfield, gets that one-on-one coverage with the linebacker, and he made the catch for the first down, then the penalty.
And Kenny Fells has looked good at backfield on the 3rd down passing situations. Handoff inside, and Smith will get a couple out to the 40-yard line. Robin Cole, Joe Williams making the tackle for the Steelers. Clock running, 8:15 to play in the game.
A lot of times in the passing situation, when the people have 3 wide receivers in the game, you try to double team some people in the secondary going downfield, the wide receivers, and you usually leave one-on-one coverage with that back out of the backfield. Well, a guy like Kenny Fells or Kelvin Bryant, when he's in the game, they're just like a wide receiver in the backfield, and they can usually beat anybody one-on-one and keep that get the first down and keep a drive going.
McEwen in motion. This is Smith. He runs up tough, and he's got a Redskin first down to the 49-yard line. The thing you like about Timmy Smith is when he sees the hole, he bolts through it right now. He doesn't wait, and he runs through it tough. Steve Apke made the tackle on Smith, but not before Smith gets a Redskin first down.
Well, I can see why Joe Gibbs loves that kid. He makes his decision at high speed. He's at top speed. He sees the cut inside. He makes the cut. Pittsburgh over pursues on the play. He turns it back inside. And when he turns it back inside, he's going 100 miles an hour right upfield and gets another first down.
Robin Cole got him around the ankle. And he delivers a blow in there. 1st and 10, Washington, their own 49-yard line. Smith again into Steeler territory at the 45-yard line before he's run out of bounds by Bruce Jones. Mr. Smith is getting the workout.
Well, he sure is. And Bruce Jones, he made the tackle, but he took a punishing blow from Smith when he turns upfield. He's got the outside speed. He's got the tough inside running. If he's a good blocker, I'm sure he'll stay with his football team.
He'll have a tough scratch for playing time with Rodgers and Kelvin Bryant ahead of him. And he is a power back. They probably wouldn't use him a great deal on those 3rd down situations. As you've seen, they bring in Kenny Fells. And he's a good-looking young player. Wilson in motion. This time not much doing for Smith. Gains perhaps a yard to the 44, and Robin Cole, who's playing a lot tonight, makes the tackle. Some of the Steelers, you probably are wondering where they are and haven't seen. Dennis Winston is not playing tonight. Dirt has a bruised shoulder, so that's why Cole's playing so much. Rich Ehrenberg is on the physically unable to perform list, as is Ray Pinney, so those 2 guys aren't playing. Thomas Everett, who's been a camp sensation at free safety, bruised his shoulder in camp this past week, so he is not playing. Steelers go to a 4-man front on 3rd down and 2. Williams hit as he throws, he fires, and it is batted away. Harvey Clayton going up on the coverage, and he did a good job defending Leonard Harris, number 20. Well, Harvey batted it away. Chris Sheffield came on a corner blitz.
Stan, that was outstanding coverage by Harvey Clayton. It was all-out blitz, people coming off the corner, and we really did not get to Doug Williams until the end of the play, and he could deliver the ball downfield. Harvey Clayton had no help downfield at all with Leonard Harris, was right with him, went up for the football, and knocked the ball loose for an incomplete pass.
This is Jack Weil, number 2, to punt to number 22, Rick Woods. Steelers with a punt rush, almost get there, not quite. Very short kick. Woods signals fair catch, and he'll let it bounce. And the ball will die at the 25-yard line. So Not a good punt by Jack Weil. 5:21 to play in the game. The Steelers down by just a touchdown, if you're thinking of in terms of winning and losing. In the later years, Jack, when you guys were winning Super Bowls, I suppose any game in which you play, you want to win. But was it that important in those days when you had a football team that was most confident of its abilities?
No, it really wasn't important at all. Really, you came into a game trying to get your timing down, get your conditioning, your game conditioning down, and whether you really won or lost a football game really wasn't that important.
Bono trying to set up a screen. He does to Merrill Hodge. Good blocks in front. Hodge gets out to the 30-yard line. Good job out there by Craig Wolfley, who threw a nice block. It enabled Hodge to pick up 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5 as Steve Bono gets the completion. Clarence Vaughn made the tackle.
Stan, it really is a different situation now, coming off 2 tough losing seasons, a 6-10 season last year. I'm sure Chuck would like to win some extra preseason games. They were 1-3 last year, and even though they're playing tough competition, they got a chance to win a game down here, and they got a lot of young people trying to win spots on that club, and a win would really be a big key, a good factor for them.
2nd and 5. This is Merrill Hodge, and Hodge is tripped up. When he had the 1st down, as it is, he'll be a yard. He's out to the 34. The Steelers need another yard for 1st down. It'll be 3rd down and 1. 4:25 to play in the game. The Steelers down by only 6 points.
See Mark Benning that time. He's back in the game trying to down block on one of the defensive linemen of the Redskins. He bounces off the player on the point of attack, but he made a good initial contact just to not keep his feet and keep driving the defensive lineman.
And thusly, Ted Karras was able to trip up Merrill Hodge. Mike Clark, the rookie from Akron, number 23, in a running back, and a very important 3rd and 1. Hodge has got the 1st down and some more. He's out near the 40-yard line. So Merrill Hodge has done a pretty good job running the ball tonight, and the Steelers have a 1st down at their own 40. Clock running, 3:45 to play in the game, and the Steelers trying to launch what would be a winning touchdown drive.
And plus a winning touchdown drive, a lot of people out there trying to make the football club and catch the eye of Chuck Noll. So this last 3 minutes and 35 seconds to go means a lot to a lot of the players on offense and defense for the Steelers.
Better to catch Chuck Noll's eye than his ire. When he gets angry at you, he stays that way. Bono, straight drop. Crossing pattern to Chris Kelly, the rookie from Akron. Kelly lowers his shoulder and is out near midfield, out of bounds at his own 49-yard line, but a gain of 9 for the rookie out of Akron.
This is an isolated on a tight end catching a football again. This is Chris Kelly on that crossing route we talked about. It's really underneath the secondary. We got people going deep. Kelly dragging underneath, and he's fighting for extra yards. That's the way a lot of guys fumble the football in the 1st half, and one time in the 3rd quarter, he hangs on to the ball and bounces off of a few people, then goes out of bounds.
2nd and 1. Hodge breaks through the line, and he is down near the 46-yard line of Washington. That's good for a Steeler 1st down. Clock running down to 3 minutes to play. The Steelers have all their timeouts remaining. Steelers going with Benning and Wolfley on one side. Jerry Quick, a tackle, is playing center. Randy Rasmussen is the right guard, and Pete Rostowski is the right tackle. 2:44 to play. 1st and 10 at the 46. Bono fly pattern to Clark. He's wide open. Overthrown. Mike Clark was there, and he had the defenders beaten. That would have been a touchdown, but the ball was overthrown.
Clark just goes downfield. There's no jam at all on him on the play. He's downfield wide open. Again, it's a blown cover because there's no deep help at all for the Redskin linebacker, number 91, Tony Settles, and there was no help at all for him. And Clark just a little bit more speed, or Bono just lays that ball up a little bit higher. He can run underneath it for the touchdown.
Classic example of a linebacker on a running back. Clark is only 5'7", but he's got good speed. 2nd down and 10 from the Redskin 46. Lionel Austin in motion. This is Dwight Stone looking to get outside. Cuts back and gets a couple to the 44-yard line where Ted Karras brings him down. The clock running, 2:15 to play. The Steelers will probably let the clock run down to the 2-minute warning, as they will then face a 3rd down and 7.
You see Craig Wolfley out there he's really a second-team guard right now. He missed 1 day of practice. John Rienster became the first-team guard, and I guess the moral there is don't miss a day of practice if John Rienster's behind you.
We have reached the 2-minute warning. The Steelers, just 6 points away from tying the game, are on a drive. We've got a timeout with a score. Washington 23, the Steelers 17. We'll be back in a moment.
George, you still here?
Yeah, teaching a night course.
Along with everything else?
Got an extra expense.
You bought a sports car, huh?
My youngest started college.
I thought you already had one in college.
I do.
Oh.
Yeah. But with teaching at night and doing a little tutoring and getting a loan, we'll do it.
The willingness to work a little harder, that's pride in performance. Some people build their lives on it. We built a bank on it. Pittsburgh National.
The cage, now open at Horns.
The Steelers with an opportunity to win this football game. Have it 3rd down and 7 near the Redskin 43. They're down by less than a touchdown. Well, Steve Bono, who is fighting to make this club, has a chance to pick up a big first down here and take the team in for what would be a winning touchdown. It's really just a matter of whether Chuck Noll decides to keep 3 quarterbacks. Obviously, if he does, Bono's the guy. But Bono's going to have to make that decision for Noll. It's not the other way around this time.
I think Chuck has he has no qualms about going with just 2 quarterbacks. He's done that before, and he thinks really there's so many valuable spots on the roster to waste it with a 13 quarterback out there. He really does nothing more than carry the clipboard. He's done it before, and I don't think he's afraid to do it again if he wants to go with just Bubby and Mark Malone.
Big play in the football game, 3rd and 7. A flag is down. Bono's in trouble. He fires, and it is caught for a first down at the 33-yard line. Danzel Lee has the first down. But remember, there is a penalty flag on the play. I think the Redskins may have jumped offside. Nope, they were drawn off. Illegal procedure against the Steelers, and that is a real crusher. Instead of a first down at the Redskin 33, it'll now be 3rd down and 12.
Well, Stan, they're going to bring this one back, but Danzel Lee has been impressive as a tight end. He played here for the Redskins, was cut towards the last part of the preseason last year. He knows how to get open in those intermediate routes, kind of push off the linebackers, find that dead area. And Bono found him downfield. He made a tough catch down around the 35-yard line. Even though it's going to come back, that should impress Chuck Noll.
And talking in generalities, the tight ends have all looked good. All have caught passes today. 3rd down and 12. A minute 46 to play in the game. Redskins on a blitz. Bono over the middle, incomplete, in and out of the hands this time of Danzel Lee. He was open. The pass a bit behind him. That'll bring up 4th and 12, and one would suspect the Steelers would go for it.
We talked about Danzel Lee. It's very difficult to try to make a catch as you're running upfield. You see, he tried to come off the jam and a little move to the inside. He stumbled here. The ball's a little bit behind him. He's running the opposite way. And it's a tough catch. He could have maybe made a great catch on the play, but just could not come up with it.
4th down and 12. The last chance for the Steelers. He's going to be sacked. An outside blitz by Monty Coleman. He came in untouched, and there is the exclamation point. The executive director and producer of Steelers 87 is Joe Heston. Our producer tonight, Jim Silman. Our director has been Brian Sight. Associate producer, Tim Kiley. Coordinating producer, Snuffy Smith. Electronic graphics by Betsy Lawrence, and our broadcast associate, Ted Beam. And a cast of thousands. Steeler is down on the play.
Stan, I'm not sure if this was a regular season game. Washington would have come with an all-out blitz. They showed it about 4 or 5 seconds. They came up with both safeties up on the line of scrimmage. You see the pressure coming, and there's Monty Coleman. There's no way to pick up all those people. One player is going to come free. It's Monty Coleman off the corner. Bono could not find anyone downfield because he had to wait for the receivers to run the routes past the first down yard marker. He had to hold the football for a while, and that's when Monty Coleman came with a real easy sack off the corner.
Monty Coleman had an Achilles tendon injury last year and missed the entire season. But he's back now, and he got the big sack. The injury was to Pete Rostowski. He's walking off under his own power. It appears to be okay. One of the things I noticed on that play, Jack, was that Merrill Hodge looked inside. Well, what Coleman came outside.
Well, what you try to do, you take care of the people inside initially. They can get to the quarterback first. The outside guy, the quarterback's got to take care of. He's got to read that and get rid of the football. Pittsburgh was in a tough situation. 4th down and long. That's why Bono had to eat the ball until his receivers could get downfield.
Well, let's see if Doug Williams sits on it. The Steelers have 2 timeouts remaining. There's a flag on the play. Motion on the Redskins. Timmy Smith gains a yard. The Steelers need the football back, so they should decline the penalty and save the time and force a 2nd down, since the gain of the play was only a couple. Redskins leading 23-17. 1:33 to play.
Illegal motion, wingback on the right side. Penalty refused, 2nd down.
Stan, I don't think there's any question the Redskins will be a contender in the NFC East over here, even though the Giants are defending Super Bowl champions. I'm sure Dallas will be a better football team, but I'm sure it'll come down again to the Redskins and the Giants, and there'll be some great games down here. And I think the Redskins have a lot of personnel and a lot of good players may be cut from this squad and may end up on other teams.
2nd down. Smith again inside the 35 and down to the 33. That'll bring up 3rd down and about 2. The Steelers should use one of their timeouts here. Bruce Jones made the tackle. They're going to let the clock run.
I'm surprised they're not calling timeout. Now going down to a minute. That or Chuck Noll wants to get back to Pittsburgh a little bit earlier and not calling timeouts, but you have to do that in that situation and save almost 30 seconds on the clock.
Of course, Williams is going to use most of the play clock. It's down to 1 second, and he gets the snap off. The dive for the 1st down is going to be short. That'll bring a 4th down and less than a yard. And now the Steelers will use a timeout. Darrell Grant, they get Charles Buchanan in on the tackle. The Steelers use one of their timeouts. It'll be 4th down and about a foot.
Timeout, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's 2nd timeout.
I would think, Jack, here that the Redskins would go for the 1st down. They certainly want to try a field goal here. It would be a 50-yarder, and although it would put the game out of reach, you always have the risk of a block, maybe a punt.
I think they're going to go for a 4th down. It's a preseason game. It's not exactly a big risk for Joe Gibbs to run the football here.
And the betting line is 3, so there's no worry there. We want to remind you that next week, a week from tomorrow night, Saturday night, August 22nd, we will be in Chicago to play the Chicago Bears. We'll be on the air at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Mike Ditka from Aliquippa and his gang of Bears. Jimbo Covert, of course, played at Pitt. Matt Suey played at Penn State. Walter Payton should play. Jim McMahon, who is not supposed to play tomorrow night against the Dolphins, or the Sunday night, I believe it is, when they open up the new stadium near Miami, could see his first action against the Steelers. And then our final preseason telecast will be on Saturday, August 29th. The Steelers in the Superdome to play the New Orleans Saints. And Jim Mora thinks he may have a playoff team, although that division out there is pretty rugged. 4th down and inches. I don't think he got it. And if he did not, the Steelers will get one last chance.
I'm sure they're going to bring the chance for the measurement. One of the matchups next week with the Bears would be Mark Benning against Richard Dent. Trying to find out if that left tackle position is Mark Benning's. It's been a question mark. Dexter Manley did not play, and he's a big league pass rusher and all-pro player for the Redskins. He's out with a knee injury, did not play. He would have been matched up against Mark Benning this evening. But next week, Richard Dent, who's probably one of the premier pass rushers, a very quick defensive end. And if Mark Benning's going to play out there, he's going to see a lot of those players throughout the course of the year.
Well, the Redskins did get the 1st down. and that'll be the end of the football game. The Steelers, talking about their running game, pick up only 84 yards rushing on 28 carries. So
a lot of teams have a tough time trying to run the football against this 4-down line of the Redskins. They're very difficult to run the ball against. A lot of teams, if they beat the Redskins, it's throwing the football. So it's not surprising that Pittsburgh could not get its running game going this evening.
This will be the last play of the game. The Redskins do have to take one more snap. Williams kneels. And the Steelers, who had their opportunities and fumbled, now the Steelers are going to take their last time out. Last timeout. False hope for Redskin fans who are all set to start cheering at the end of the game. The Steelers do take their last time out.
I wonder whose decision that was with 5 seconds left to go in the game.
I think it probably came from someone in the huddle. I doubt seriously that it came from anyone on the sidelines. Steelers running game averaging 3 yards per carry. You'll remember, of course, the early part of last season with all the injuries they had. They did not run the football very well. When they began to run the football well, then the football team as a whole began to play better.
And another guy I think looked really good this evening was Walter Abercrombie. Ran hard to the outside at the beginning of the game, did not play that much. Got a little bit of work for Frank Pollard on his leg. Make sure he's going to be healthy. So that position, which was really decimated with injuries last year, should be a real strong point with Pittsburgh's team and their running game this year.
And there, that will be the last play of the game as Williams drops on the ball. He played the entire second half, and he brought the Redskins from behind to win the game. The Redskins led 16-14 at the half, and they go on to win it 23-17 as all the Steelers were able to manage in the second half a field goal by Gary Anderson. Joe Gibbs and Chuck Knoll talk it over. We'll let you talk over tonight's game. We'll be back with some final comments. That's the end of tonight's game. The final score, the Redskins 23, the Steelers 17. This has been a production of WTAE-TV for the Steelers 87 Network.